Welcome to Fringe Fanatics with Chad Lee and Chris Zane.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. It is episode 100 of Fringe Fanatics.
We made it.
We made it. The century mark is here, everybody. And as you can see, Chad and Chris are not joining you today.
Nope.
No, luchadors are here.
El Chifo.
El Chifo and El Bronco.
That's right.
There's probably a cooler name in Spanish for Bronco, but here we go.
This is it, man.
This
Dude,
is it.
These are fucking sweet.
They are
I love
pretty
it,
cool.
man.
So these are courtesy of Mr. Jesus Martinez from Custom Lids. We will be sharing their stuff as well. He made these specially for the 100th episode of Fringe Fanatics.
Thank you, sir.
And here we are. We look cool. We look fancy. We both have cool jackets on. We both have luchador masks.
We're ready,
Things
man.
are happening.
This is awesome.
We are here. So thank you, guys. I am Chris Zane, as always.
And I am Chad Lee. Thanks for tuning in.
Yes, thank you, guys. We appreciate it. We hope all of you have had a fun journey along with us on these 100 episodes. 100 hours.
What a journey.
Oh, actually, probably closer to like 200 hours, really.
Oh, yeah.
Because we do longer than an hour. But,
So I was listening to the inaugural episode today just to kind of like see if
you
we
rushed
could
up.
yeah, just see if we could find like a good soundbite from there or something. And it is September 14th, 2022 was the first one. So we're almost like 4 days away from
the actual
exactly 2 years.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
That's weird.
Yep.
Huh? Yeah, look at
We
that.
had that
man.
pilot episode that nobody
Yeah.
heard, but
Yeah.
it's just for our own
Yeah.
memories.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, we recorded it on like our phone.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, just to see how it went.
But
yeah.
as you can see from the luchador mask, we are prepared to battle.
yes,
We're about to go into the ring.
we're about to enter the squared ring. I was gonna say octagon, but that doesn't really pertain here.
Dude, that's what's nuts. As soon as you hit like go live, I had thought, I was like, this is perfect for UFC Noche.
It really is. Yes,
Yeah.
we are fitting in. We are luchadors, and it is UFC Noche this weekend, which we're going to see some really good fights. But we're going to get into that with Farzin later. We have good guests. We have DMac
That's right.
from 92.5.
Yep.
We have Farzin joining us from the Chiefs podcast. So this is all going to be really, really fun stuff. We've been looking forward to this for a while now. and
Yeah.
It's finally here.
I'm glad these guys came through, man. What better way? Chiefs, Broncos,
Yeah.
two of the best insiders.
It's really how the podcast started, you know? I mean,
It
we
is.
talked a little bit about it last week, but I mean, we've started this because of our love for, the Broncos for me and the Chiefs for you, and the fact that
And the hatred for
each other.
Yeah.
Caesar said that today. He was talking about something, and I was like, I just hate Chiefs fans. And he's like, yeah, but you're friends with Chad. I was like, I know, I hate him sometimes. I was like, I love him, but I still hate him sometimes.
I don't blame you, man. That's how I felt about Patriots fans all the time.
Yes, but in the past, up until now, episode 100, I don't know when exactly we started. It was probably in the 30s or so. We started doing the corresponding athlete for the number of the episode, and we've now breached 100, and there's really no athletes that wear 100. Like, we're
No.
going to be getting into, like, racing, like NASCAR. I don't even know.
I think they're all double digits, too. Yeah.
Referees, we can start doing refs.
Yeah.
Might be good for the Chiefs fans.
Nice. Hit it.
One little jab. I don't care. It's too late right now. It's the moment has passed. But
Gotcha.
so we are going to feature ourselves this week.
That's right.
We have made quite the accomplishment and continuing to do this for 2 years now. We're gaining traction every week. We're moving forward at a good pace, and
People are catching on.
people are starting to catch on, and it's only going to go up from here. We have big things planned in the future.
We have big announcements today.
Big announcements today, changes in the coming weeks possibly, so we'll see what's going on. But we were gifted these glasses and 2 bottles of whiskey from our corresponding parents. My parents got us these nice little like whiskey glasses.
Yeah, whiskey glasses.
And they're etched with our name, or our
C,
and it's also the Roman numeral of 100. So it had technically 3 purposes.
Well, I'm sure your mom probably thought too. The C for champion for the Chiefs too. That would had to have been her first thought.
Yeah, I mean
imagine.
that was probably
What a good
probably
idea,
in
Karen.
there. Yeah, 'cause she's quite the
Chiefs all the way. Oh yeah, we're gonna be bringing it hard this week.
Yeah, definitely. We got to, but we are gonna cheers ourselves because
That's
why
right,
not?
man. Dude, we both worked hard on this.
Yep.
And real quick, we have a lot to, give credit to for each other. But more than anything, I want to give some thanks to Meryl for putting up with you so much and giving us and the podcast your time and taking away from you guys and everything.
Yes.
Just everything she's done for you and the podcast, your parents, everybody that supports this. I want to give a big shout out to my girlfriend and partner in crime, Hannah.
Yes.
Dude, she vacuums this podcast studio every week.
Area.
She cleans this
up.
up.
We don't.
Yeah.
It took us a while to get like this ring circles off of here the first time
I
around,
know.
So
She does a lot for that. She brings us refills. She's like our beautiful waitress too.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of people to thank.
Couldn't do without them.
Yeah. People at work for letting us go early sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah.
Am I gonna be able to drink in this? I guess
you can
figure it out.
You just gotta work it.
Hey,
but cheers,
episode
my friend.
100, man.
Episode 100. We have done it. We are here, and we're gonna keep this train a rolling. So cheers to you guys. Cheers to us.
You just wait. Episode 200 will be here before we know it.
It will be. Another 2 years down the road, basically.
Oh yeah.
By then, we'll probably just be doing this for a living. So
that's the goal.
Yeah.
Underdog Fantasy, get at us.
Yeah, we're ready. Whenever you are, we'll join the stable of shows.
Yeah, Barstool, come at us. Speaking of that, dude, we've mentioned before that we are going to be having Justin Graver on today. So he's the producer of Heed the Call.
Yep.
Today, actually. I didn't catch it because I was busy at the time, but I was planning on trying to find it. Dan Hanzus and Mark Sessler were on Rich Eisen's show.
Oh, yeah, I saw. They said that they were going to be on there.
Yeah, the producer of Heed the Call will be on our show, and the host of that show was just on the legendary Rich Eisen show, which, to me, the guy's one of the most unbiased, diplomatic sports analysis out there, man. The voice of the NFL.
He really is.
NFL Network.
And that basically gives us 6 degrees of separation from being on Rich Eisen when
6,
Justin Graver,
12, 18,
whatever.
as long as it's a multiple
24,
of 6,
yeah.
I'm in it, man.
12 degrees, 25, whatever.
Dude, we're still close.
It doesn't matter.
We're climbing, dude.
I can almost reach out and touch Rich Eisen right now.
Dude, think of it like this. With these masks, we're like climbing the ropes of the ring to get in battle.
Going top rope.
That's all I can think of right now, dude. All I think of, too, is Rey Mysterio Jr.
Yeah.
I mean... Legend, man.
Yeah, legend.
And I guess Dan would be able to tell us more. He's such a big wrestling fan, but I think his son, is it his daughter? Wrestles now?
Dominic. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, you know. Yeah. I am so clueless on.
Well, we were talking
stuff.
about this a few weeks ago. Somehow our feeds got overrun by WWE stuff.
I know, man. They were promoting the hell out of it.
Chad chose not to dive in.
Out of it.
I dove in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mad respect to you, man.
Yeah, and so
it's
now
entertaining.
I know things that I wish I didn't know, but I know. So here we are. Yeah,
we're gonna get in maybe for episode 200, we get in the ring with these things on.
Oh yeah, maybe we'll just get Rey Mysterio to just throw us around a little bit.
Anything's
possible. By then he'll probably have been on the show.
I'm taking another sip, man. This Breckenridge Brewery is pretty damn good.
Oh yes, we got the Breckenridge Brewery. The old bourbon whiskey, which apparently is made with snow melt water, so that's why it's so delicious.
Wow!
And then we got the old Bossel.
You see the flavor? Because you remember our mom. I said our mom. Wow, my mom. Actually,
might as well.
We're brothers. Got us a bottle a long time ago, back when we lived in that when I was in that first studio, and it was like a wine barrel flavored. This one is toast. You wouldn't think that. What? Toast?
I hope it just tastes like actual toast.
Burnt toast, man. I don't know. I was like, there was this one and then like some other one. I was like, I'm going with toast.
Well, I appreciate that. I like your willingness to take chances.
Jamie from work, that's his whiskey, is Basil Hayden. It's a good one.
That makes sense.
Yep, yeah. He's a whiskey drinker for sure.
That's good.
Being a Broncos fan, he got to.
Well, yeah, the last 9 years have been rough. So,
yep.
Well,
we got 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Let's recap. You won one fantasy matchup, and then you lost the other, right?
Yeah, my bench did really good. I didn't have a good enough pep talk with my starters in the small league. I let them down. I didn't give them, I didn't give him like a good Lambo speech. Lombardi speech.
Or, man, going full on Al Pacino from Any Given Sunday. You got to give him like a full on yelling.
I thought about going the NIL coach and just crying a little bit.
Oh yeah, that's a good point. But you did all right.
Did all right, one and one. You know, it's not a bad way to start the week. What about you?
I went 2-0, Smalley and Fringe Fanatics leagues, and then talked about it. I'm still salty about it. I'm in that big money DK league, $100 buy-in, 32 teams. Lost by 1.02, and it came down to Jared Goff Sunday night. Gets the ball in overtime. What's he do? Hands it off 9 times. He throws it once, but doesn't get me the points I need. Been thinking.
You're probably gonna have to get in his DMs and send him some hate.
That close, man. That close. It's a horrible lineup this week. Should have gone Baker.
Yeah, you should have.
Yeah,
Baker balled.
Dude, he had a perfect game pretty much.
Yeah. I saw on. Well, I didn't see it. I listened to one of the shows on 92.5 today, and some sports, whatever the sports station is in Cleveland, we're like, we're going to open up the phone lines today. And the first caller said was like, guys, I have 2 numbers for you, 94.1 and like 144 something. And they're like, what the hell are those numbers? And they're like,
Deshaun?
That's Deshaun Watson's QB rating to Baker Mayfield.
Oh, it's great.
And they're like, you gotta be kidding me.
I mean, we got news too, man. There is news.
Oh, man. Yeah. Big news. He might not be playing the rest of this year. We'll see.
I just got a notification this afternoon that the NFL is looking into it because I have a feeling that they're just a little bit tired of Deshaun, whatever nickname you want to give him.
The massager, the masseuse.
Yeah, whatever. He getting happy endings and stuff.
He's got another, and now they're wondering if Houston knew about this and didn't tell him, because this is all the way back from like 2020. Yeah.
And there's a paragraph or stipend, whatever clause, big jargon word you're going to use in his new contract that if he gets suspended from the same type of allegation,
massagings,
they get avoided all that guaranteed money.
That would be the best thing that could happen for them, because right now they're making the Russell Wilson trade look good, and he hasn't even played on that deal that he signed.
He looked horrible on Sunday.
He didn't look good. No,
it was horrible. The Cowboys, I mean, dude, they just got to him so much. Micah Parsons was in his face every play.
Yeah, I also realized I think I'm going to have to start watching Red Zone this weekend. I was mad, dude.
You finally coming around?
I'm coming around, and I'll tell you why.
I'm going to message Farzin, just let him know we're ready.
Yeah. Oh.
Dude.
On the money. All right, let's pop these masks off.
I know, I'm here. It's kind of tough to talk in it. That was awesome.
Oh, I just threw my glasses. I can't see.
Oh, I gotta get my hat on. He's like, where are you guys at?
Call from
Farzin Vousoughian.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
We do not accept.
Hello, Farzin.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Thanks for having me.
Welcome back, man.
Congratulations on I appreciate it. Congratulations on 100 episodes to you guys.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
One day we'll be as good as you. You know, we'll be up there with you. That's our goal, anyways.
I think we're on the same level.
There you go. I appreciate that. I did see that you were getting close to. Well, you had a little bit of milestone this last week.
Yeah. You know, I guess some people call it clout. Some people call it a good following. You know, I'm just pretty fortunate. You know, and it's funny because I've had some comments over the years, people saying that I only have the following I have because the Chiefs are good, and my response is, yeah, I know.
Haters gonna hate.
Listen, I've been doing Chiefs content for a long time, and you know, it's no secret when the team is in their dynasty mode like they are right now, it definitely helps because people are going to be a lot more interested and they'll have a lot more to say. So, listen, it's been fun doing Chiefs content way before the Mahomes era, and it's even more fun in this era we're in right now.
Well, Farzin, you know, I'm a big fan too because, you know, I started following you a few years back, and the first thing I noticed, man, you are so diplomatic on handling the haters. And as we know, being Chiefs fans, there's lots of hate that come our way. Even if it's Chiefs fans, that, you know, when there's different types of topics and controversial things that come up in the Chiefs kingdom, you handle it with such ease and like a true veteran, man.
If you say grace right now, I'm getting up and leaving.
Dude, you see you follow him too, man. There's people that comment, whether it's Butker stuff, whether
he does hand it very diplomatic.
I mean, it's
I just
everything.
thought you meant Chiefs fans in general. I was gonna be like,
Oh
all right,
no,
well, you back
believe
off
me,
it.
no. I'm talking about Farzin.
Farzin, yes,
you
I'll
handle
allow
it well, man. Yeah, and I mean, dude, you do that to a T perfectly. And then I want to also give you some praise. You were just on the Kansas City local news recently, right?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, that is correct. So local station here in Kansas City, KZTV5, they have a morning show called Mike Casey Live, and one of their co-hosts reached out and said that, they would love to feature the Man Cave and all of that. And, what's funny is I've actually had the Kansas City Chiefs, they reached out wanting to kind of do a feature on the Man Cave.
Whoa.
And
Nice.
it was kind of weird because they wanted me to, like, hang out with my buddies and drink and hang out. I'm like, yeah, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like it's very genuine. Whereas
Yeah.
with Channel 5, they just wanted to kind of show the room. I actually had some of the Chiefs games on my DVR, so I put those on the screen. And I actually filmed them, some of the footage, and sent it over to them and let them use it. And they had me on. So that was a really cool experience for sure. Haven't been on TV in quite some time, so that was a fun experience. And by the way, to go back to your comment about, social media handling and whatnot, and I do appreciate the comments from you guys. The Butker thing was very interesting this offseason, and I just kind of learned, like, and look, I think you guys know this just as well, and I don't want to make this a political thing. We're in a time, especially today, where you're just not going to think the same as someone else. I know there were all these rumors. Oh my God, Taylor Swift and Brittany Mahomes, are they feuding? What's going on? It's like, listen, you can, logically have different views than someone and still coexist. Unfortunately, we just don't have a lot of people that go about it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime there's Chiefs news that needs to be discussed, whether it's controversial or not, I feel the obligation to need to bring those up, and how people want to discuss it, that's all up to them.
Yeah, and I did see some of that stuff, and I get you're just like basically reporting the news, so to speak. But yeah, it is always funny when people like attack you for just saying it, and you're just like, I'm just,
yeah, you're
I'm
just
reporting what's happening,
yeah.
man. Like, I'm not even giving you if I have, a dog in this race. You know what I mean? Like, people just like to jump on it, and everybody wants to have their opinion heard, so to speak, especially on social media.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, and again, like I said, I'm all for people giving their opinions, speaking your mind, all that good stuff, as long as it's in good faith and it's an opinion you really have. Just understand you're just not going to have the same stance as everyone else around you, and that's okay. Well, the world would be a pretty damn boring place if we all were the exact same type of people,
Exactly.
That's true.
Yeah. Well, you just go about it in a really neutral way rather than like taking one side where, I mean, you could lose a lot of followers or you could gain some, but rather than like putting yourself into a pigeonhole, you walk the fence in a great neutral way, not pissing off anybody, but just reporting what's out there. So, dude, it's a good inspiration for us as well, because, when things come across on Twitter, you got to be kind of picky on what you want to retweet or whatever. So, I kind of see the way you go about it, and I try to kind of model ourselves the same way.
Oh, well, I appreciate that. That means a lot that you say that. There are many great ways to go about it, but for you guys to want to do it that way as well, that means a lot. So I appreciate you guys saying that.
Yeah, of course.
No worries, man. Well, let's get into some good stuff. I mean, all those things were good, but let's move off of the, polarizing stuff, and let's get, well, I guess it could still be polarizing, but the Chiefs are still good, unfortunately, for most of the league, and fortunately for you guys. But, yeah, the Super Bowl champions, there is no hangover. Travis Kelce might have a little bit of one, but I'm only saying that because he hurt my fantasy team this week. But
and I think we can
move on from that.
Debate on that. He was double teamed a lot of the time. I mean, come on.
But, yeah, man, they look good, and the whole NFL and all fans of everybody but the Chiefs should be upset at the Bills for allowing you guys to continually just get better. It's sickening at this point.
It's just funny because the week of the draft, I said, there's no way teams are going to trade with Kansas City. And I remember Brett Veach did a press conference that week, and he said, look, people would be willing to trade with us if they feel like they're getting something good in return. Yeah. And I'm like, I get what he's saying. Like, I think he's giving a PR answer. And the exact second when I saw on Twitter, you guys all know how Twitter works. Twitter is always ahead of the NFL draft on TV and everything.
Yeah,
so
it's ridiculous.
If you're like very active on Twitter, yeah. So when I saw that the Bills traded their pick, the same second I said, it's not Kansas City, obviously. There's just no way. And then 5 seconds later, it's the Chiefs, and I said, this has to be like fake news or something. There's no way the Bills are doing this again. And everyone is mocking the Bills. And it's funny because, they got Keon Coleman, and hopefully it works out for them. But, the first clip of Xavier Worthy in rookie minicamp was him dropping a pass, and Bills fans mocking that. It's like, okay, let's wait for the real games, okay? A drop in April is not a concern to me at all. A drop in September or October, that's more concerning. And, only 3 touches for Xavier Worthy, but, man, you got to feel pretty good about the start he had to his debut, his career, essentially.
Yeah,
and,
setting an NFL record.
Buffalo.
Did he really?
Set an NFL record. First player in NFL history to get a 20-yard NFL rushing touchdown and a 20-yard receiving touchdown in his first game. I mean, his first touch gets a 20-yard rushing TD.
I mean, he looked electric with that. He just cut through everybody. I was like, all right, that guy's really fast. Yeah. I mean, I jokingly, when we had you on the first time, I said he was going to fall to you guys. I just didn't think it was going to happen through a trade with the Bills again. But yeah, they look dangerous this year. On both sides with Worthy and Rice, which we all know he likes speed as well.
Nice.
Yeah, listen, I mean, look, all jokes aside, give credit to Rashee Rice. I mean, he really did look like a true number 1 veteran receiver in that game. And, I know some people are not really too high on Hollywood Brown. Some are. If he has the speed, Patrick Mahomes will find a way to utilize that in this offense. I don't know what the likelihood of him playing this Sunday would be.
I was going to ask you about that.
And this is just a guess. Yeah, so here's my prediction on that. I think he will practice these next 3 days, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and go through walkthroughs on Saturday. But I would be surprised if he's active. And the reason I say that is because the Chiefs don't want to throw a receiver out there with just 3 practices in essentially the last month. That's very little for a guy who's been, on the shelf for quite some time with that injury. So my guess is he practices this week, just kind of get his feet wet, get acclimated. If he does play, I would not expect a whole lot out of him, but I would definitely expect him to play and be active in next week's game against Atlanta. So if he plays this week, great. I'm certainly not going to argue that if he's 100% ready to go. Hey, as a Chiefs fan, I certainly would not have any issue with that.
No, definitely not. And that's why I was kind of going to bring it up, because I think it was yesterday I saw news from Shefty, I believe, that said that it is trending that he might play. And it just kind of, going based off of like what you said, where he's going to be practicing and everything. I also saw another post where it says that it's really unlikely that T. Higgins plays. So maybe the Chiefs might feel like they don't need Hollywood Brown. They can go out there. I mean, the way Rashee Rice, like you said, was hitting those slants, I mean, it was automatic.
Yeah, and I think when you look at the Bengals defense, not that the Patriots played this top-tier, perfect game offensively, but they found a way to kind of control the situation on the road in Paycor Stadium, and that defense really got ripped up. I know we're talking about the passing game, but if you want to switch gears for a moment and talk about the rushing game, their running back, Ramondre Stevenson, who's not necessarily like a household name at the running back position, he broke 10 tackles against the he forced 10 missed tackles against the Bengals. The Bengals had the third most missed tackles in Week 1, and that's certainly not a good recipe to go into Arrowhead. And by the way, Isaiah Pacheco, his best rushing performance was last year against the Bengals, where he ran for 130 yards. So it's just really trending that there's maybe a small possibility that the Chiefs could go run heavy in this game, something they don't do often.
I would love it. Put the man of steel in there. The Gator. He'll break some tackles.
The Gator.
And
they love him. They really do.
Yeah, I love it. We got some good new additions. I'm so psyched for this new offense. It was, last year, at Farzin, it was just so frustrating watching Marquez, Valdez, Scantling, and, the rest of these guys that just Kadarius Toney, who's now with the Browns, God bless him.
Yeah.
But man, what we got going forward, and just to touch on, to kind of finish up the thoughts on Hollywood Brown, I think the rest of the league's in for a rude awakening. If that guy can stay healthy, from the hype that we got from camp, it is just hype, but there's a lot of speed there. And the way I see it too, like we saw that Noah Gray, he just signed an extension. He had a great game, that week 1 game. All that speed is going to open up all that underneath routes for Travis Kelce, Noah Gray, and Jared Wiley, who's going to take over for Travis Kelce. Jared Wiley is a stud.
Yeah, I know the Chiefs really do like Jared Wiley, and I don't know how much he's going to play as a rookie. I think they still like Noah Gray and Travis Kelce.
Definitely.
And they'll let them do their thing. I think, Wiley will still get involved a little bit this season and get some catch-up. But you kind of just mentioned that. I mean, this offense here, once Hollywood Brown comes back, even before Hollywood Brown comes back, I mean, these guys are spreading the defense, and defenses can no longer just stack the box, and that allows the Chiefs to be very creative, maybe even audible into a run and allow Isaiah Pacheco or Samaje Perine, whoever's in the backfield, whether it's Steele or whoever, to kind of just go off and get some easy yards against a defense that might not be expecting the run. And you can't double-team everyone. I mean, you can't double-team Kelce, Rice, and Worthy all at the same time. I mean, there's just not enough players on defense to be able to do that. So this is an offense. And look, understand something, and you guys all know this. The Chiefs did not have a prolific style of offense the last 2 years. Obviously, last year you dealt with the drops. Mahomes still did a lot of great things 2 years ago, his first year without Tyreek Hill. Went on to win MVP. But there was no deep downfield threat in these 2 seasons. So now you have that, and that's going to just make it even more dangerous for this offense. And, as long as they stay healthy, they're certainly on their way to making history this year.
I totally agree, man. Let's shift off offense real quick. I'm sure Chris is probably on the same page of this. All right, we've talked about their strengths. Let's shift to their weakness. What do you think? I brought it up last week, which my kind of prediction was, and we saw a little bit of that in the week 1, but Lamar Jackson could do this to anybody. What do you think the Chiefs' biggest weakness is on defense?
Yeah, last week was not really the best showing. Chris Jones was on the Manning cast in the fourth quarter last night on Monday Night Football, and he said that, they gave up some big plays and they definitely need to improve. Nick Bolton had a really rough showing. Got to give him credit because, he was there on the Isaiah Likely play in the end where, he did enough just to force his toe out of bounds in that one. But overall body of work, it was kind of a rough game for the linebackers, specifically for Nick Bolton and Drew Tranquill. I think the secondary didn't really get torched a whole lot outside of McDuffie. First drive of the game, he looked a little rough, but was pretty much perfect really after that. He came up with a huge fourth down stop, though.
Yep.
I would, if we're being honest, it was a really weird play call from 4th and 5. By John Harbaugh and the Ravens. But, you can't ever apologize for that. You got to go make the plays that are being brought right before you. I think in general, the Chiefs were able to get some pressure, but, man, it'd be really nice to finish and get those sacks there. My biggest complaint with this Chiefs defense is last year they didn't force a lot of turnovers.
Yeah.
I don't have it in front of me, but I want to say they had 8 interceptions, 8 or 9 picks last year, which is not a lot for a defense that was very good. And hopefully they can do that because that's definitely going to help this defense improve a lot, especially when, they're missing a top-tier cornerback in L'Jarius Sneed, who's moved on to Tennessee. So, but if the pass rush is going to be there, I think it's going to gel well for the remainder of the season for this defense.
No, I totally agree. I saw that a lot, Bolton get roasted a lot. Isaiah Likely, everybody was like, oh, where's Mark Andrews at? And my prediction is, Bolton is a guy that can keep up with Mark Andrews. Mark Andrews is big, but he's not as fast as Isaiah Likely. Isaiah Likely is a little bit more of that wide receiver, tight end hybrid, and he's faster than Bolton. And so, man, that just was a perfect recipe for them to throw him in there against Bolton. But, yeah, dude, McDuffie, he makes some solid tackles. He's really good at press coverage. I think that if Jalen Watson and some of those other cornerbacks and kind of Josh Williams actually had a pretty decent game. If those guys can kind of keep stepping up and growing, and we've seen Spags defenses where they just get better and better with each week in the season, I think eventually they're going to gel together and have a really good defense.
And you know what the thing is with Spags, you mentioned this. And look, Lamar Jackson, all the credit to him. I know there are so many opinions about him over the years, even with the 2 MVPs, and I understand that. It's never easy to prepare for a quarterback like Lamar Jackson.
No.
And
He's one of one.
You know, do some things. Yeah, 100%. But I'll tell you this, and you know, Joe Burrow can certainly make some plays with his feet, but the Chiefs run the nickel and dime packages more than any team in the NFL the last 2 years. And Spags loves to blitz with those linebackers and even defensive backs. Leo Chenal, a linebacker that's getting more playing time now that Willie Gay moved on. He had, I think it was 3 pressures against Lamar Jackson. Think about, you know, what he can do against quarterbacks that are not as mobile as Lamar Jackson. I think this guy is really taking a big step in his 3rd year in the NFL. I'm really excited to see what he's doing so far for the Chiefs. I know it's only been 1 game, but I think it's a huge step for him in the right direction. So I'm really glad to see that, and I hope we see more of that from Chenal, especially this week when you're playing against a Bengals offensive line that really has not looked very good, despite, you know, the amount of change they had in the offseason at that group position right there.
Yeah, Leo Chenal, I don't have his PFF grade right here in front of me, but I if I'm not mistaken, I think he was like one of the first or best highest PFF graded on the Chiefs defense that week. He had an awesome game. So I think he's only going to get better.
Yeah, I hope so. Because I think Willie Gay, like, that's a big loss. And he was so great against the run. I think Chenal can do a lot of the same things that Willie Gay did. And you know, I've said this many times on my podcast. I feel like Chenal, I think if he were to ever switch and become a full-time pass rusher, like edge rusher in the 4-3 as a defensive end or as a outside linebacker in the 3-4, I think he would excel at that position. I really do. But, you know, he's doing his thing as a linebacker, and he did it very well. And one important thing to mention, you know, right before halftime, he has that pass that he swatted away that should have been a touchdown.
Oh, he saved
it. The Chiefs did enough. Yeah, 100%. The Chiefs did enough to keep him out of the end zone, and the exact same thing before the end of the game, which obviously has been talked about ad nauseum by a lot of people. So this Chiefs defense, you know, bend don't break, and that's the characteristic of a Spags defense.
That's so true. Lots of bending, but no breaking.
Real quick, Leo Chenal, PFF 79.7 overall grade, which was the 4th best.
Oh, thank you.
Among the Chiefs roster, which pretty.
Oh, not just on defense, on the whole roster.
Says 4th best among the entire roster.
Wow, damn, pretty good. Out of Wisconsin,
Badger.
Yep. All right, Farzin, I love all the Chiefs take, man, but
I'm over it. Let's talk about something else.
I figured so. He's still
Just
a little
kidding,
salty.
Farzin. I'll be salty forever.
Yep. All right, Farzin. Big weekend coming up here. You know what I'm going to ask about? UFC 306 is on the books at the Sphere.
Noche.
I want to hear your thoughts. Sean O'Malley versus Merab. We got one of the best wrestlers of all time, a guy that ragdolled Henry Cejudo, versus the star of the UFC right now, the guy that Dana White picked to headline the Sphere event. Who are you taking, man?
Man, that's a really good question. And you mentioned Henry Cejudo. When you can do that to Henry Cejudo, who's a very talented wrestler,
he's a weirdo,
that's impressive. That you're definitely going to raise a lot of eyebrows doing that. And listen, I know he hasn't lost since 2018. I just cannot pick against Sean O'Malley.
Oh, nice.
Just the tenacity that he brings, the demeanor too,
the confidence.
That's part of the sport. Yeah, it's just so hard to pick against Sean O'Malley, but it's going to be a fun fight to watch nonetheless. I do think Sean O'Malley is going to win by decision in this one.
Decision, interesting. Okay.
He called knockout on First Take this morning.
Yeah, I saw that headline. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
Okay.
Yeah.
He basically said that. Oh my God, I'm gonna screw his name up. Divishvili.
Yeah, Merab.
Yeah, Merab.
Yep.
That's way easier than his
just
last
say
name. Merab. Merab is, he has the great, cardio, and he's got the best in the UFC when it comes to cardio. But Sean O'Malley said cardio doesn't matter when you're sleeping on the mat. So he also still has that confidence, which is always nice in a fighter.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's I saw Sean O'Malley training with a YouTuber. A friend of mine showed this to me, and I don't really pay too close attention to some of these YouTubers out there, but someone showed it to me, and they're just sparring, and he's just having fun with people. He seems like a really mean guy, and he's always down to be mean to his opponents. But man, outside of the octagon, he's such a cool dude. So it's always cool to see like the other side of that with MMA fighters. It really is.
Yeah, I mean, he's just like sitting in his giant warehouse
with an octagon in there, a pink Lamborghini.
Yeah, he has two like pink, supercars parked behind him, and he's just hanging out talking. It's like, that's a cool life, man.
He's a wild dude living it up in Arizona. I mean, he's so cool.
Cotton candy hair.
Yeah.
I got a question for you guys. Outside of the main event, like, what fight are you guys looking forward to the most? Because there's one fight I'm really keeping a close eye on, but I want to know if you guys have the same answer as me.
All right. Well,
I'll let Chad go first.
Okay, it's on the main card. I'm interested to hear yours, but it's Brian Ortega versus Diego Lopez, Mexican American versus Brazil. And I mean, dude, is this your pick then?
Yeah. Listen, have you guys seen the Tamba Hali jiu-jitsu video on
Yes.
YouTube?
Yeah, I have. I actually tried to reach out to him, honestly. I tried emailing him. I found his website and literally tried emailing him. I was like, dude, I love how you work with George Karlaftis and these dudes. Can you come on our podcast and talk about it? But I'm still waiting for a response.
I was after his rookie season, I just went on YouTube at the time, which, YouTube was really new at the time. And I just looked up Tamba Hali rookie highlights, and I came across his training video with Henner Gracie, which I think they took down because of like copyright music that was being used. They ended up doing a whole nother video later, which was really cool. And I've been like always following Henner Gracie and that Gracie Jiu-Jitsu YouTube channel. So I've known about Brian Ortega long before I was even an MMA fan.
Wow.
And when I got into the UFC, I see Brian Ortega on the rise. He's not undefeated anymore, but at the time he was. So I've always just been drawn to this guy in his style of fighting. Unfortunately, he's kind of slipped a little bit. He had those two brutal losses in those championship fights, one to Max Holloway, one to Volkanovski, and he's kind of, been on the downslope. I know he had a really weird situation where he pulled out late, and I think on the day of the pay-per-view, if I'm not mistaken.
Or the day before or something, I think.
Yeah, something weird like that. And I was just heartbroken because I'm a huge fan of the guy. I really want to see this guy bounce back. I really do. I think he's got what it takes to be a champion, but he's got to be able to come through in these top-tier fights, and I think this is an opportunity for him to really bounce back in that featherweight division. I really need to see Brian Ortega just win the championship just once, man. I need that for my MMA fandom.
Especially since you've been following him for so long, man. I mean, I definitely hear that. Like, when you kind of follow a guy from, like, that long ago, you really want him to reach the top of the mountain, and it's going to be a tough task against this guy with that's a young dude in Diego, and he's just got so much hype. 25-6 right now professionally. I believe he's undefeated in the UFC. I could be wrong, but yeah, I mean,
you're correct.
Yeah, Diego just keeps winning.
I'm sorry, no, I apologize. He did lose his UFC debut, but he's been perfect 4-0 after that.
Okay, thank you. And when I just got done watching Countdown not too long before we started recording, and I didn't realize, too, that Alexa Grasso trains in Diego Lopez's camp as well. So, I mean...
That was actually going to be the fight I was going to say I was looking the most forward to, because I like watching her fight.
Yeah.
I do always like the women's fight. They always seem way more evenly matched more often than that. I don't know if that's just me. Maybe that's just me being a guy and not knowing what the hell I'm talking about. But and they just they are funner to watch sometimes.
That's going to be a good one, definitely. Alexa Grasso and that camp, there's just so much heart that comes out of that camp and that style. She's still training out of Guadalajara. I just feel like it's tough to rule out Diego because they just have that spirit, but Brian Ortega and his jiu-jitsu, man, like you said, Shane, he's got that Gracie jiu-jitsu black belt. He's famous for that triangle choke, right?
Yeah, I mean, he almost pulled that off against Volkanovski. I think it was Volkanovski. He came really close to doing that, and it was a weird fight where he was just getting beat up. I'm sure you guys remember the fight, and the exact same thing in the Max Holloway fight too. Man, he was just so close to being able to pull off that triangle hold, and I mean, that dude's got a really tight grip right there. He would have been able to hold on to that. Man, it's just he's so fun to watch. I'm a big fan of great wrestling and great jiu-jitsu, and the jiu-jitsu that Brian Ortega brings to the table, you just can't look away. I always have to tune in whenever he's fighting.
Oh man, I hear you. I'm a big fan of the jiu-jitsu just because it's such like it's a trap. You could fall into it. Speaking of Alexa Grasso, they trained for that Shevchenko spinning back kick, and as soon as she threw it, she took her back and choked her out. So all it takes is that split-second mistake, and there's jiu-jitsu experts can end the fight just like that.
I'm actually like slightly bitter personally because like growing up as a kid, I played basketball, soccer, but like looking back, if I could do things over again, which I'm sure a lot of people think about in their mind sometimes, dude, I would love to do like jujitsu or just martial arts or wrestling, that kind of thing. And the reason I say I'm bitter is because right next to my house, there is a Gracie Jiu-Jitsu certified school.
What?
And I would love to train there.
Oh, man.
I would love to train there. But
it's never too late. It's never too late, Farzin.
Hey, the drummer in my band just started. He's a blue belt now. He started like a year ago.
Andrew James, it's pretty cool. And he just got his blue belt, man. He's moving on up. Just almost broke his finger recently.
Yeah, we almost had to cancel a show because of his finger. So that is the only bummer part is that as we get up in age, I don't know how old you are, Farzin. You might be younger than we are, I think. But as you get up in age, man, those injuries, not only do they linger, but you realize how expensive they are.
Don't get old, people. Don't get
don't stay. It's just like the Billy Madison, stay here as long as you can.
Before we get you off here real quick, we are having another Broncos guest on tonight. So I don't know if you've heard what we're doing tonight for the 100th episode. We're almost like doing a big homage to what started this podcast, which is like a Chiefs-Broncos kind of rivalry thing. So we're having on our Chiefs Insider. Then afterwards, we're going to be calling on DMac, if you've ever heard of him, a big radio personality here in Denver. So we'll be getting him on the line here in about 5 to 10 minutes. But before I do that, let's get to the co-main event. Who is your pick for the super hyped up round 3? I mean, it's like who won the second fight? Because I mean that draw, I rewatched that on Countdown. Dude, that could have gone either way. Who's your pick, Shevchenko or Grasso?
I like both fighters, I really do. But man, I just can't pick. The reason I'm going with this pick, I just cannot pick against this person. I understand times are changing. But I think Valentina, she's going to get her belt back. I know she's getting up there. She's kind of slipped a little bit, but I think she's got one more run in her, even if it's just for a short period of time. I think she's going to have that title one last time. She's got to get it back, and I think it would really be big for her legacy, regardless of what happens. But I think it would mean more if she could find a way to get that. I'm going to go with a second round knockout in this one.
Oh, nice. Exciting. A second round knockout. That's way different than the second fight. That was just like a brawl for 5 rounds straight. I mean, it's tough to tell. There are a lot of different people that said 3-2, Shevchenko, 2-3, back and forth. But, I mean, it seriously could have gone either way. That's why it did end in a draw. But I do agree. I think it will be Shevchenko just because her kickboxing and striking is so deadly. And I think she learned her lesson from the first fight where she's not going to be throwing that spinning back kick.
Watch them spinning back kicks. They will get you choked out.
But it should be a good one.
I'm really excited for I'm really excited for this one. And I've got to be honest with you guys. I've kind of, there's like no particular reason. Maybe I'm just, when I got into MMA in 2016, I guess the fighters that I studied and learned so much maybe are just not around anymore. But I just haven't followed MMA as closely. I mean, the top 3 fights, I'm certainly familiar with those fighters, but I got to be honest, I'm not too familiar with a lot outside of those guys. And no disrespect, I'm not saying those guys are irrelevant or anything. I just haven't really been keeping up with MMA like I used to. But when I saw this card a couple of weeks ago, I knew I had to tune into this one. So I'm really excited for this one. This is going to be a really good night of fights, especially those 3 fights right there.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And it's such an homage to the Mexican fighters that we've had throughout the years and just the whole heritage of it. I mean, there's a reason why the Mexican Fury and Heart, it's a term in fighting. You go back to guys like Diego Sanchez. I mean, that guy has some of the most legendary fights of all time. Clay Guida, Mexican-American fighter. There's just something in that Mexican blood, and I think we're going to get a lot of good fights that night. I'm really psyched. Yep.
Yeah, that's really cool to see them globalize like that. I mean, the sport really needs it. It's a great sport, and it's at a very high place. They're still growing at the same time. So it's really cool to see them expand and be able to honor the Mexican heritage like that. I know they really wanted to do it in Mexico, but it just, panned out the way it did. I'm really interested in seeing how it's going to work in the Sphere. That's going to be very intriguing, but it should be a fun night.
I almost feel like it could be a little a lot. Because, I don't know how they're going to film it. Are you just going to see, a giant, are they going to be filming backwards? Or, when you go to the other side, are you just going to see a big, bright screen and a guy's legs? I'm interested to see how it's going to go.
Same here. I feel like I might get nauseous watching it.
I know you guys got to move on to your next guest, but if
you're good.
Prediction, my guess is that they're going to like the bottom half of that bowl will just simply be like a black screen. That way it's not too distracting, and then kind of above that half,
not the full steer.
That'll be
that's a good prediction. I could see that.
Yeah. Otherwise, that's going to be way too distracting, because even when NFL kickers are kicking field goals, the home kicker, the direction he will be kicking in, they actually will just put a generic logo on the video board, even though they're not looking directly at the video board. They're looking at the football, but home stadiums do it.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of thinking they might do something like that for this one.
I could see that, yeah. And what I'm really fascinated about, too, is what, everybody's talking about, the fact that it's happening on the same night as a Canelo fight. Whose numbers are going to be higher? Dana's going all out, putting, I think, over right now what I've heard is $25 million so far into this card at the Sphere. Then Canelo, the world stops when he fights. So which one's going to come through in the end?
Especially the Mexican-American world.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see which they choose to watch.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't even think about the whole Mexican part with Canelo. That's a good call there, but. Listen, Dana White, and I know a lot of people have their opinions about him. I certainly have mine, but that dude is never afraid to go head-to-head. He might not be willing to do it on the same night where the NFL might have some games, but he has no problems going up against competition for the most part. So I would not be surprised if the UFC were to win that battle.
Yeah, I wouldn't either, man, especially with him kind of doing such a devotion to the Mexican fighters, too. So. Yeah, and I don't know. We'll see. I'm excited to get the numbers afterwards, and we'll check it out. And hopefully afterwards we can circle back, and after a Chiefs win over the Bengals, we can get back with you soon or later down in the future, Farzin, and get your take on this fight, man.
Hey, it's always been cool coming on your guys' podcast and talking to you guys. Listen, I don't get to listen to there are a lot of podcasts. I don't get to listen to all of them in their entirety, but I see you guys putting out some clips out there, which is what you guys should be doing, what every podcast should be doing. So you guys are doing a great job with that. Congratulations again on 100 episodes, and hopefully you guys get to do 100 more.
Hell yeah, man.
Thank you, Farzin, man. We appreciate your time. And you were our first guest, our first big guest.
Yeah, exactly.
So we appreciate that, man. We appreciate your time always, and we hope to talk to you soon, man.
Yes, thank you so much, Farzin.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah, there it is. Yeah. Thank you again, man. And how about them Chiefs?
Chiefs. Let's go, baby.
Hell yeah. Thanks again, Farzin. Have a great night, buddy.
Man. All right, you too.
Bye.
See ya.
All right. Man, we got to go right into
timing, dude. We're like, we got a producer.
We're like a well-oiled machine.
I know, right
here.
At that 550 turns.
All right. So we're going to call Mr. DMac right now.
Give me, and just before you hit this, we got Miss Hannah asking if we need anything to drink or anything. So I'm going to ask her to bring some ice. Yeah, so give me 30 seconds in this and just talk about that guest real
yeah,
quick. 'Cause that was great.
Farzin, we thank again. Greatly appreciate having him on. But the next guest is Mr. Darren McKee from 92.5, which is the Altitude Sports Radio. If you live in Denver, Colorado, Altitude is who carries the Nuggets. And we are very excited. Oh, the Nuggets and the Avalanche. I'm sorry. How dare I forget that? But we are very excited to have DMac on again. So we are going to call this gentleman right now. And give me 1 second while I dial him up. We got to switch over to Chad's.
Basil Hayden.
The Basil Hayden from the Martins.
Where is that at? Kentucky.
Okay, here we
Kentucky
go.
bourbon.
I know it starts at 7.
This is great. So I got all my Chiefs talk out of the way. Now
Thank
let's
God,
get into
dude.
the Broncos loss.
There's growth to be had. Shut up.
Dude, you guys are going to win, man.
We're going to win 7 games, maybe.
Peyton's got to open up the playbook for him, man. He kept him real reserved for that boy.
Yeah, unfortunately.
The yards
All
per
right.
attempt were pretty low.
Here we go.
Hello?
Mr. DMac, how are you, sir?
I'm doing good. Can you hear me okay?
We can hear you great. How have you been, man?
Great. I've been awesome. Awesome. Football's back. It's good.
Yes,
we survived.
It's been a great first week for some of us. For some of us, it wasn't. But I would like to get your take on the Broncos because I think me and you kind of fall in the same vein of I wasn't expecting a win this week necessarily.
Chris, if you don't mind real quick, can I interrupt you for a second?
You can,
I just want to congratulate. I'm not going to smear the Broncos by any means. I just want to congratulate Mr. DMac right here. Dude, you got a regular show throughout the week with the one and only Shefty.
Oh, yes.
Dude, that's amazing.
Yeah.
He's had that since back in the 104.3 days.
But I mean, like, dude, the fact that it's continued. You got a relationship with one of the most notorious NFL insiders, man, and it's continuing each time I tune into it, try to get a little information on there, kind of get behind the enemy lines on the Broncos side a little bit, but just going to give you a little hats off to you, man. That's awesome.
Well, that's very cool. Adam and I have been friends. Actually, it goes back before the Fan. He did a show with us on KBPI when he worked for the Denver Post, and I trained and ran a marathon with Adam back in 2001.
What?
So we have, no.
What was he like, 22 at the time?
Well, it was 2003. It was 21 years ago that Adam and I both trained and ran the Boston Marathon. We did it for Children's Hospital.
Nice.
He told the story on the radio. I'll give it to you really quick.
I was going to bring it up. I listened to it the other day. I was like, that is insane.
Well,
I want to hear it. I didn't hear it, so give it to me.
All right. Well, really quick. I had a connection with Runner's Roost, and so they were an incredible sponsor, and we were raising all sorts of money for Children's Hospital, and Pat Bolin was involved with it because he was a big triathlon, and it was like, hey, if you beat Pat's fastest marathon, I'll give you like $20,000. If you complete it, I'll give you $1,000. It was all sorts of stuff like that. So we were training during the winter time because the Boston Marathon's in April, and Adam was wearing this great fleece winter gear that you could run in Denver in like 0-degree temperature and you wouldn't even feel it. And so Adam was a creature of routine. So he's wearing this. It was great in low temperatures. We get to the starting line of that year's Boston Marathon, fellas, it was 80 degrees. 80 degrees. It was like absurdly warm. And I'm looking at a picture of me and Adam right now from that day, and I'm in shorts and a cut-off T-shirt, whatever, right? It's 80 degrees. Adam's in all black head to toe and like winter gear in 80 degrees. Long story short, he collapsed through dehydration around mile 9. He somehow gutted to the finish line. He collapsed on the airplane. He had like basically a seizure. He had to be taken off on a stretcher and taken to Rose Medical Center
Whereas organs were shutting down when he got back to Denver and was in the hospital for a few days to recover.
Oh, my God.
So I'm looking around. I was in great shape. This was 21 years ago. I ran the Boston Marathon 4 times. I finished this one. I'm looking at the time, 4:02:49. For me, that's great. And I'm sitting at the finish line. I'm like, oh, Adam must have killed me. I'm over 4 hours. He was in better shape, blah, 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 blah. I'm thinking I'm not seeing him because, he must have finished so far in front of me. I didn't know he was dying on the course behind me. And you got to really think about this, fellas. How mind-blowing is this? 2003, guys, no cell phones, no internet like we're used to, nothing like that, right?
Yeah, different time.
There's no way for me, different time. Anyways, that's that's how far back I go with Adam. So thank you for pointing that out. It's been my honor to see Adam just become this. We've been lifelong friends, but he's this crazy. He's Adam Schefter, right? Like he's unbelievable, right?
Yeah, he
so
knows.
It's kind of cool.
I was going to say he
cool
knows
see
the
one of
news
your
before
buddies-
we do,
one of
which
your-
is nuts.
Yeah. It's cool to see one of your buddies real. And I have that same relationship, by the way, with Joel Klatt. We go way back too. So it's cool to see everybody far surpass me in my life. So that's what that is.
Yeah, and I don't know if you know, Chad, but Schefter started out as a Broncos beat writer, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
I don't know if he's a beat writer, but he started writing for the Broncos.
Well, yeah, he really started as like a journalism student at the University of Michigan, but his first big job was the who's the beat writer right now for the Broncos? It's been a bunch of different people over time.
Yeah.
Beat writer, Parker Gabriel. Gabriel is the beat writer for the Broncos now, but it has been Nikki Jabala and Lindsey Jones and Troy Rank and Mike Kliss and our guy Adam Schefter. So they've had quite a run of incredible people being the beat writer for the Denver Post, and not one of them got banned by asking a question to any of the coaches of the Denver Broncos. That never happened. So good for Sean Keeler.
Yeah, just don't ask any questions to Dion.
Yeah, no kidding, right? Nice.
Well, man,
I just had to, give that a shout out. Thank you. Go ahead, Chris.
Oh, yeah. So let's get into some Broncos stuff. Like I said, I think me and you are on the same vein of things in terms of Bo Nix. Like, I wasn't expecting a win this week. I wasn't expecting it to go the way that it did. I mean, some of those, there should have been more than the interceptions that happened, the 2 interceptions that happened. But nobody really helped Bo Nix this week. The running game was non-existent. Seattle did everything they could to keep stuff in front of them. There was no yards after catch or anything along those lines. The one thing that I did like to see, though, and it was on the worst play that Bo Nix had, which he threw into triple coverage basically on that last interception. I love the way that he came back out and, matriculated a drive down the field and ended up scoring a touchdown. And I think had the game shooken out differently, he probably would have made that game very entertaining. And I was bummed it didn't happen, but I definitely think that was a possibility.
Because of the plotting nature of the game itself, it felt worse than it actually was. Mm-hmm. And look, hey, man, that was a great catch by Lockett, great throw by Geno Smith, great coverage by Riley Moss, and, hey, Baron Browning, don't jump off signs on 3rd and 11, bro. I mean, we got him.
That was killer.
We got him where we need him.
Yep.
And it would have been really, really interesting because they would have had a nice, healthy chunk of no timeouts, but they would have had more than, I think a minute 40 or so left on the clock. Would have been interesting. I would have liked to have seen it. And it's easy to forget that game really came down basically to one possession at the end because it didn't feel like that. But it really, guys, when you look at it, sure, could Bo Nix have been better? Yeah, okay, it's your first game. I mean, how were you guys the first time you had sex? I bet it wasn't that great.
Not good. You're right.
Theoretically.
You gotta watch the video just to see my face go about as red as my Chiefs right here. Wow, that was a good question, man. Not great indeed.
Not great, and I'm sure maybe you're looking forward to it, the opportunity. I don't know. We'll see how it goes for you, but you get better with things as time goes on, and this This was awkward, awkwardness. Probably not sex, but like a really bad first kiss. It's like you're locking lips with braces on, and you'll get better. It'll definitely get better, and it was getting better as the game was going on. And I've heard some people say, "Oh well, Seahawks were in prevent defense." I don't know, man. I don't know if you're playing prevent defense only up 13 in the fourth quarter at home. I think you're kind of trying. I don't think you're – who's playing prevent defense was Nebraska up by 28 when CU couldn't do anything. That's prevent defense.
Yeah.
Seattle was definitely trying to play, and the Broncos were figuring it out. And Bo was getting more accurate with his passes. They were playing a little quicker. He was running with the ball a little bit more. And these are just things that need to become, a bigger staple of your offense. And sure enough, when Seattle guys pushed the pace, and I'm not talking no huddle, but they just went like a little quicker, look what happened to start the third quarter. You just caught the Broncos back on their heels just a little bit.
Yeah.
And that was enough, though, to open up play action, running certain gaps, doing other things. It just gave you a little bit more. And it certainly opened up the running game because it put the defense back on their heels. And I think when the Broncos get to that, when they're more comfortable moving the ball a little bit quicker, guys, they're going to have similar results to what the Seahawks did. It doesn't mean they're a great team, but I don't think the Seahawks are that much better than the Broncos. And likely there's still a 7-9 win team out there. But these are the growing pains that it takes.
Yeah, and that was a very tall task for someone to go into it's not CenturyLink Field anymore. It's
the 12th man. That's
the
just
12th man. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Lumen Field.
Yeah.
Yes.
Lumen Field.
That's a tough place to go in and play. And I was expecting something along these lines. But yeah, I wasn't expecting the entire offense around him to not do as much as they could have. And then, the injury to Garrett Bowles and stuff like that. The offensive line did not play well.
Quinn Miners, a lot of analysts I saw, I think it was Nate Jackson on Twitter, basically blamed that first interception on Quinn Miners for letting that pressure come through and just getting right in Bo Nix's face. Though, yeah, Bo Nix threw the interception, or you could throw a little bit of blame on Quinn Miners too. So, yeah, you're right.
Okay, sure. The offensive line guys aren't perfect. A more seasoned quarterback just eats it there or just recognizes the whole situation a lot quicker. And that's a bad throw. It's a bad play. You're off your back heel trying to do what? And maybe, I don't know. I also talked with Nate Jackson, and he said Cortland Sutton could have fought a little bit more, pull the ball down, get in the way, interfere. I'd do something.
Yeah.
And don't forget, Sean Payton said he went up to the receivers and were like,
come on. Yeah.
Come on. Yeah. And I don't think that was just about the drops. I think it's like, hey, you got to – and listen, who's he really talking to there? Devon Bailey, who was 8 for 8 targets and catches? Or was he talking to the guy who's a team captain who had 12 targets and 4 catches? Who do you think he's talking to there?
And that's the thing. I mean, Cortland Sutton did not do anything to help Bo Nix at all. Like you just said, he's got 4 receptions for 38 yards on 12 targets. Devon Vele looks like Tim Patrick out there, catching anything and everything that comes his way. And he's above Cortland Sutton in terms of receiving. And it's hard for a rookie to succeed when, like you said, one of the captains is not helping you.
Hey, guys, I really do wonder, is Cortland Sutton going to make a bunch of business decisions before he gets traded before Week 9 at the trade deadline?
It's very possible.
Right? Like, you think he's thrilled? This is such a wild conversation. To think that you make $18 million a year and you're pissed off is mind-blowing to me. However, that being said, let me give you a crazy number. Did you guys know there are 12 receivers in the National Football League that make more than Patrick Surtain average per year, more than $24 million? 12 of them.
I did not. That is insane.
Yeah, the receivers.
Crazy, right?
Well, I mean, they're going like 100,000 more than each other, which doesn't seem like a lot. It's like 24.1. You know what I mean? Like they're leveling each other up by.
There's not 1 or 2 receivers, and the top receiver is Justin Jefferson at $35 million a year. So from Cortland Sutton's perspective, listen, can you believe
a slap in the face?
$18 million isn't enough?
Yeah. I can, unfortunately.
He may see it like that, and if he really – and he was a close guy with Russ. Like, he was like Russ's best friend on the team.
Yep.
And so was Garrett Bowles. And I think it's tricky when you keep a couple guys who are very close to Russ around when you're trying to reinvent the culture. And you keep them around because you can't fire everybody. But obviously it didn't look great when you got a guy like Tim Patrick who really catches literally everything. And you decide, well, we don't need him anymore. And then, 12 targets, 4 catches. And, really seriously what's going on here. And let's face it, Cortland Sutton may just be done with Denver, man. He got
does
drafted
feel that
here.
way.
He's never made the playoffs. He's never had a winning season. He may just be done, man, and just want to go somewhere else. You wouldn't blame him.
Well, he probably looks at Justin Simmons and is like, man.
Right.
I mean, I don't even know if Atlanta is a better situation, but it feels better, and optically it looks better. I mean, they obviously, shit the bed, so to speak, this weekend, but I feel like there's a lot more upside there than there is here. You're basically in a full rebuild.
If you get traded for,
mm-hmm.
it's almost a guarantee that you're going to the playoffs. Because
Yeah.
why else would anybody trade for you, right? You're probably for the next 3 months gonna go somewhere to at least have a chance to win. And then you can sort of, whatever the rest of your life is going to be, like, who knows. But let's keep our eyes on Cortland Sutton here, fellas. Let's keep our eyes on how that goes.
I mean, look at the Rams. I mean, we just see them lose Nakua for 4 weeks. There's a possibility that, and
there you go.
Their offensive line's totally shot right now. They just saw 4 of 5 starters already.
They're wondering who all they're going to be able to put on IR.
Yeah,
they
exactly.
might run out of IR spots.
Yeah, they could be looking at maybe adding Cortland Sutton or something. So, yeah, there's a lot of teams out there shopping for a wide receiver.
Well, the story was the Broncos were offered a third-round draft pick for Sutton, and they turned it down.
Probably not going to get that now.
Listen, man, well,
maybe.
It all depends, guys. It's like if a team like the Rams is in a window and that's what they need, you never know, fellas. Seriously, the windows to win championships are small.
Mm-hmm.
So, listen, can you believe we got a first-round draft pick for Bradley Chubb? Seriously. I mean, to me, that's crazy. Sometimes teams do crazy things to win a championship, guys. You never know.
That's very true.
We're not going to get it right now. But at the trade deadline right before week 9, you never know.
And I'm, obviously, like I said, I feel like I'm realistic in the sense that, like, if this team wins 7 games, I think that's a good year with a rookie quarterback. I would like it to be more. I think there is an opportunity for there to be more, but I mean, the first 2 games, you're going up against really good defenses, and that's the thing this week. I wish Russell Wilson is playing because that's better for the Broncos.
Oh, me too.
But TJ Watt, I mean,
that's what I was about to say.
I don't know what you can do.
Bo Nix threw for 42 times last week and had 138 yards. He was sacked 2 times, and that's going up against Seattle Seahawks defense, where it's they don't really have much of a pass rush. It's mainly their back end that's so talented.
Yeah.
But then you look at what TJ Watt did.
Dude's a game wrecker.
Holy cow, man.
Dude.
I
feel you, man.
Took that game over. So him coming in to Denver, that's going to be scary.
It'll be interesting to see Garrett Bowles' health. I know Sean Payne was like, he'll be okay. But I was told Garrett Bowles was walking away from that game on crutches. Now, I have seen that before in pro sports. You're on crutches, and 6 days later you're playing a game.
We've seen it with Bowles before, too. I mean, he got
carted
carted off and was crying and
right.
waving to the fans and was back at practice the next day.
Dude, that was so funny. I'll never forget, being at practice, and here comes Bolsey.
He's just walking.
Willis Reed out of the locker room. I'm like, wait a second. You got carted off, bro.
He's like, I just needed some tape, man. It's all good.
Just got a little emotional.
You're right. I forgot about the waving to the crowd thing. You're right about that. That actually did happen.
Yeah.
I'll be all right.
I'll see you guys next year.
I'll see everybody on Wednesday. Pray for me.
Maybe that's what's going to happen here.
We hope so, because without him, I mean, it's going to be rough.
I think, and Matt Peart and I am going to go Peart in tribute to Neil Peart of Rush. I will not go Peart. I will go Peart.
Yeah, I like it.
Who knew that was our backup tackle until he was playing backup left tackle, Matt Peart.
Matt Peart.
So, okay.
Yeah.
But you realize that is because Quinn Bailey got hurt, and that was going to be our swing tackle. Quinn Bailey, who's been on the team for several years.
Yeah,
so,
and then he broke his leg. And
thank you. Yeah, so it's listen, man. If I'm the Steelers, this is a no-brainer to go with Fields, not Russ, and just play. Their whole season is going to be just about winning games 18-10 like they did over Atlanta. It's going to be low risk, lean on the defense, don't make turnovers, Justin, run around. And they can – I don't know if you can win a championship like that, but you could definitely, especially in their division, you can definitely get to the playoffs like that. No doubt about it.
Yeah, Chris Boswell is going to be their MVP and punter.
Maybe. I mean, yeah, he did all right, didn't he?
Yeah. It had a net average.
By the way, listen, pet peeve here. What the hell? Can I curse on this or not?
Yeah,
you
definitely.
You can
You're
do
good.
whatever you want.
Why the fuck don't kickers also punt? You know what I'm saying? Like, how different can it be? And
I don't know. If you see that kid...
If
you see that kid from School of Mines, it can be very different. I don't know if you saw that. He kicked it 80 yards on the fly.
Wow.
I did see it, and I'm just like, it's kicking, guys.
Yeah,
and
you're kicking.
Somehow Shohei Ohtani learned how to pitch and hit at the highest level. And you
Cheers to that one.
Can't figure out, you can't figure out a variety of kicking. And I see these kickers. You guys realize at practice, these guys do nothing.
No, they go play golf usually.
Hours. They don't do shit out there. There's nothing going on out there. And I'm like, well, how about you learn how to punt, brother? Like, learn a new skill. It's I don't know. It does not surprise me that a guy can punt, can kick, and vice versa. It surprises me that they can't.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you would think. I mean, we're going to run into something like that with Travis Hunter, where you're playing two positions here coming in next year, and there was talks of how do you pay somebody like that if he is in fact going to be, on basically your best wide receiver and your best cornerback? Like, how do you pay that guy? That's a different thing.
I did tell you the discrepancy financially between receivers and corners, right?
Mm-hmm.
We already went over that earlier, right? Like, unless he's allergic to money, Travis Hunter's got to be a wide receiver.
He's kind of almost been looking better as a wide receiver as opposed to a cornerback, too.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we saw another example. DK Metcalf had 3 catches, whatever. You know what? I think he got targeted 6 times. Oh, Pat Surtain won the battle. I don't know. I think that was a push. But the truth of the matter is a great corner does not take away half the field. If he's lucky, he'll take away some targets and focus the ball somewhere else. But if you want to run Pat Surtain out of a play, every team's got like a DK Metcalf, like a number 1 guy. Every team's got one. All right? But so just keep running wind sprints all day with Pat Surtain. Poop them out. And most teams play zone anyways. You really can't just man up guys. It's fun to say, right? Like, just
it hardly
up.
happens,
and,
yeah.
It happens maybe 50% of the game because you can't just play a defense like that. You've got to play a zone at some point, and you don't have an entire team of Pat Surtains. So as good as Surtain is, and I'm saying he's really good, there's only so much you can do with that compared to a wide receiver that you can just create things for.
Yeah.
You can pick plays or jet sweeps or slants or go routes. You know what I'm saying? Like
they're adjusting to you, yeah.
Correct. And that is why the value of corners is so much less than the value of wide receivers. It's pretty simple. And we think this is going to change? And by the way, guys, take a look at college football. Holy shit. There are unbelievable receivers coming at you every single year.
I mean, you can find a Devon Vele in the 7th round. You know what I mean?
Well, exactly. And then you look at the Niners. how impressive were they last night?
That was
Holy shit.
scary,
Like,
man.
it's just,
Their RB and their
Right, look how
quarterback
many
are making
weapons-
$2 million, less than $2 million.
and guys, that's why you draft a quarterback early in the first round, because you get a 5-year cushion where his salary doesn't kill you.
Yep.
And so for those 5 years, you can't listen. Now that they drafted a quarterback, I'm fine paying Pat Surtain that money. Now
Yep.
that's what you can do.
Mhm.
Once you, but like, I'm not trying to rip on Pat Surtain, okay? But what is a team without some dynamic playmakers? Nobody on the Broncos could break a tackle.
Yeah.
Nobody could break a tackle last week.
Well, not only that,
And-
there
and
was.
I'm watching. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I just want to throw this out there. I wasn't able to. I was watching it on Red Zone, but correct me if I'm wrong. But I think in the third quarter, Seattle was still, or even in the middle of the fourth quarter, Seattle, instead of playing a little cushion off Bo Nix and daring him to like throw deep, they knew he was going to throw short. I don't know what his yards per attempt was, but I think it was under 5 yards.
Yeah, through the
they
third
were,
quarter, I think it was.
Yeah, doing press man coverage, saying we ain't scared of you throwing deep. We know you're not going to.
They don't have the guys to do it. That's
Right.
the thing.
Exactly. That's my point.
That's a great observation, and I'll let you know, total plays on offense, Marvin Mims was 5th in terms of plays. Not 5th in terms of targets, 5th in terms of total plays. 5th out of 5 receivers, last. And they made Troy Franklin, your other speedster, inactive.
Yeah.
So you didn't have – you were not using whatever speed you had. You definitely weren't using it. And that's a mistake. And if you think so little of Marvin Mims, why the hell is this guy on the team? To return kicks and punts? I mean, give me a
Yeah.
break. And I don't care that he was and let me tell you, he had a lousy camp, guys. I was there every day. He did nothing in camp. And I asked Sean Payton, I said, how do you separate potential from performance? And he agreed. That's a tough thing to do.
Yeah.
Because everything about Mims and Troy Franklin right now is potential, not performance. Meanwhile, you had guys like Michael Bandy and David Sills and Brandon Johnson and Jalen Virgil, who runs a 4.3. They're out there kicking ass every day in camp. But they weren't drafted in the 4th round. They weren't drafted like Mims in the 2nd round. So it's a little frustrating. Bailey was a stud every day. Like, and he was a draft pick too.
Yeah.
But, guys, I don't know, man. Like, why do you have these guys? Why do you have speedsters if you're not going to use them? What's the point? You've got to at least expose the threat of it to get the defense to respect it.
Well, yeah, otherwise, case in point, they're just going to sit on everything and just be, try and make a play on us, and you can't do it. So, yeah, I think they've definitely got some things to change. But I do want to change gears, and I don't want to keep you too long. I know you've got a night to have to yourself. You've worked all day. Well, part of the day.
I got nothing going on. I'm like the character in Almost Famous. Of course, I'm home on a Friday night.
Well, it's still, I don't want to sap all your time. I could talk to you all night.
The truth is, you're a little bored of me at this point because I just go on too long.
No, never.
I get it.
No, I want to change gears.
No.
I want to ask you about
No.
Jamal Murray, because they just paid this man, and I mean, it's such a hard situation because just looking at the scope of what Jamal Murray has done for the Nuggets organization, I think he deserves every penny he gets. But you look at the performance last year in the playoffs, it was lacking, although he did hit two of the wildest shots we've ever seen.
Yep.
While my friend over here, Chad, is a Chiefs fan, I did convert him to a Nuggets fan, and he is diehard.
Good.
But
Good.
I am worried a lot about this because they were so hamstrung by being put into the second apron and all the things that come along with that. And there's more guys coming up. Aaron Gordon's coming up. Nicola's coming up.
Right.
What? I don't know. I'm excited that they did it because they had to, I feel like. And they were kind of handcuffed in this position where it's like, he got you a championship. You got to pay the guy. But at the same time, it's like
he's never been an all-star.
Availability is the best ability, and he's never been an all-star.
Even though he's been robbed, he should be an all-star. But because of his, injuries, he hasn't been an all-star. Never been All-NBA. So that's a lot of the merits that get you that salary. But, like you said, they were handcuffed.
Well, here's what I think about Jamal. First of all, I think he's tough as nails mentally. So even when he's not playing well, he's not scared of taking that final shot. That is a crazy high quality to have, okay? And he's got it. All right, check. I think he's unbelievably competitive, and I think he doesn't like basketball. I think he loves it. I do. I think his relationship with his dad is interesting. I think it's a very, we got to sit on a couch and break this down with a psychiatrist sort of dynamic. And where Malone fits in as some sort of alternate father figure, I think it's kind of a weird thing where they're kind of competing for that father figure thing. This is like a psychological thing. But I do think it goes to the basketball end of things, where you've got to get the most you can out of Jamal. And there were so many times that Michael Malone came to Jamal's defense over the course of the year. And there were so many times where he would always say, guys, this is Joker and Jamal's team. He never would just refer to it as Jokic's team. He would say we need to appreciate Jokic while we have him because it won't be this way forever. But whenever he talked about this team, it was always with Jokic and Jamal in the same breath. So you're kind of in a situation where you really didn't have much of a choice, right? Who else were you going to get? What is your alternative? And when you look around, you realize there isn't one.
Yeah, there's nobody to replace him with.
There isn't anybody. There's nobody with this chemistry or has the belief in the coach. There's nobody else like it. I think what the issue is that Jokic bought in to how the Nuggets wanted to physically train him and develop him, and he just went all in with their training staff and everything. And I think Jamal, and I think his relationship with his dad is really interesting in this, he's just got his own way. Fellas, he has his own way. He has his own way he wants to do things. But he does love basketball. He does work out down at Ball Arena in their gym all the time. He's not like a bad guy. He's not like away or anything. I don't think it's going to be desire or motivation. I think it's going to be, can he psychologically perform at the highest level under a complicated circumstance where his body may be wearing down after all this time. And I think the Nuggets are like, hey, Jamal, we believe in you, but we really need you to get with our program that has worked for our guys who believe in it. And I think Jamal's just like, hey, I'm good. I got my own thing going on, and here we go. And frankly, guys, how do you tell somebody who's making $255 million to do anything? How do you insist on anything once you pay somebody that kind of money?
And that's what's hard. I mean, a lot of these guys, they throw it out. You get paid, and the bag gets too heavy, so to speak, for you to keep producing the way you have been. And I don't think that's the problem with Jamal at all. I don't think you look at Jamal. He's not one of those guys who's out there flashing all the money. I don't even know what he drives. You know what I mean?
Have you ever seen his house over there? And it's near Central Park neighborhood, or not Central Park, but by City Park. I mean, it's a pretty modest house for inside Denver. It could be a mansion or anything like that, but it's almost like a townhome.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I don't
Jamal's a simple dude. He's had a girlfriend. He's not married. I do think he does have. I think he's got a kid. But he is a simple guy. He loves basketball. He loves playing video games. I think he's a great guy, actually.
Yeah.
I think he's a great guy. I just think first of all, I don't think he's built body physically for international basketball. I think it's a different style of play. It just doesn't really suit him.
Well, especially on Canada, too, when the focus is Shea. Yeah. That threw off things for a lot for him.
And they tried to make him an off-ball guy a couple of times with Reggie Jackson last year. And it just, because they were trying to take some of the pressure off and having the ball in his hands. It just never really worked with Reggie at the 1 and Jamal at the 2. Not really. They tried. They tried. And they may try again with Strother, who has crazy good handle. They may try that again too, maybe. But let's face it, guys. Jamal's meant to have the ball in his hand. And what I call the death zone. It's like when you climb Mount Everest and you get over 23,000 feet,
you're
like
dying.
Your body starts dying.
Yeah.
Like when you are tied or trailing the Nuggets at home with 5 minutes to go, you're already dead. You're dying. You're already dead. And that two-man game with Jokic and
just
Jamal,
suffocate you.
Hey man, I'll take my chances. I'll take my chances on that for the next 3 years to try your best to win another championship. Because I really, really seriously, guys, I really don't know what a better alternative would be. And I'm open for suggestions.
There's not one.
And guys, right, there isn't one. And soon enough, the Nuggets, sadly, will eventually become the Golden State Warriors and the San Antonio Spurs. All dynasties end eventually, and when they end, it's sad, and it's a hard rebuild when it happens.
Dynasties are meant to die.
To me, they are. So I think you just got to really love it while we got it, and I think we got it for, I'm going to say, 3 more years.
I was going to say 3 to 4 was probably a good guesstimate in terms of what we got. Because I don't know. You might get Jokic that extra year on his contract. I don't think he's going to sign up again.
Hey, here's my take, though. Unless we get Micic and we get Jokic's boy, and we'll go the Denver Serbian Nuggets.
That's just a bunch of
that's
itches
how we
on
do
the
it.
team. We've got nothing but itches.
Yep.
Jokic may surprise everybody and play till he's about 38 years old.
I hope he does.
Well, here's why it might happen. I think this guy is a competition junkie, and you just don't – to scratch that itch is hard, guys. And I know it's like, I want to go home and all that. But, he goes home, and the first thing he goes to
is the horse track.
Yeah.
Where they're competing. Where there's competition. And for all the people slagging Jokic about not caring, first of all, I think that's crap. I think the guy really cares. He shows it in different ways. And he's very professional about it. But you can't tell me he didn't care during the Olympics or what he was doing there. And you can't – I can't tell you a game, and I've been to every single Nuggets game, home game for the past 3 years and around Jokic a million times. I can't tell you one instance in the past 3 years at least that I've seen him not care. I can't tell you.
I mean, you can honestly say, and there was a lot of people making this argument when they took bronze in the Olympics, that he was more excited about that than winning the NBA championship. Like there are people holding that against him, so to speak. And it's like it's not the same thing. It's a lot longer of a
bronze.
Yeah.
Not getting bronze, man. I mean, they were happy on the podium because there was like
they were
3
hammered.
hours between their game and the ceremony. They were fucking hammered. I mean, that's why they were happy.
Here's maybe how we can kind of even this out, though, too. I mean, it's like when you go home, like we talked about the first time you came here and stuff, when you were, starting off on the East Coast and everything. When you're around your hometown boys and stuff, you're excited. When he's with his Serbian boys, he's pumped. Let's bring a little bit of that here. I'd say, listen, the Rockies suck. Let's tear down Coors Field. Let's put a horse track there.
Yeah.
Let's get his horses there. Let's just let him enjoy that here.
That's a good point. He's got a good point.
Accommodate.
I've never seen anybody who likes where he was. You couldn't pay me to go visit my home except to see my parents.
PETA.
Like I want to nail in the head. I mean, PETA and Eileen. Like I love them, but the rest of it, it's for the birds. But he loves it. Listen, and I love Jokic, and I love Jamal too. I do. I think that's important to note. That I am so grateful for what these guys have given us. It's a joy to cover these guys. So I want the best for everybody, and I definitely want the best for Jamal, even though he can be a little tricky to cover sometimes.
A little bit.
I do like Jamal.
Can be a curmudgeon.
Yeah, listen, he's a different cat, man. He's a different cat. And by the way, his personality and McKinnon is almost identical.
Yeah, I was gonna say they're very. They're not necessarily off-putting, but they're just very. I'm trying to think of what the best word is, but they're their own guys for sure, and they don't.
I like them both. I respect the hell out of both of them. I recognize how great both of them are.
But they make your job hard.
Oh my God! I don't even want to deal with it.
Yeah.
I really do. A lot of times just say, forget it. It's not worth it. But they're both. I mean, it's just so amazing, guys, to be able to go down to Ball Arena and cover these just phenomenal athletes at the absolute peak of their careers. It's really, really cool.
Yeah,
well, we're really appreciative to get your insight on it, since you're so in depth on it and so in the inner circle of it. You're asking Sean Payton questions. You're in there in Ball Arena. We're grateful to get your insight.
You got it, guys. You know, for the Broncos, man. I hope I can say that same thing about. I hope very soon I can say what a joy it is, because it was pretty amazing to be around Peyton Manning basically every day during the Broncos year for 4 years. That was. I look back on that time, and I'm just like, wow, I can't believe how lucky I was. You know, as a reporter and a journalist, you have to be somewhat objective. But, like, at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, I can be a fan and just say that was pretty awesome to be around somebody like Peyton Manning during that time period. And I've been lucky to be around, you know, guys, I was just thinking about it today, man. I have covered the Avs parade a couple times, the Nuggets parade, and the Broncos parade, man. And not a Rockies parade per se, but, you know.
We might as well have had one for the 2007 season, you know?
Yeah, I know, man. So no, I've been awful lucky, and I enjoyed being on with you guys, so, you know, anytime.
Well, hell yeah, man. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, man, we appreciate you. It's like I said last time, you probably don't even remember as many people as you talked to, but this was like a little bit of like nerding out for me to get to have you on my own show, because I've listened to your show through most of my formative years. I mean, probably back into my teens now. I'm only 37, but I mean, you've been here for how long now? It's like, in terms of just 104.3.
Let me straighten you out. Let me straighten you out. Of course I don't remember that. Please, I got better things to do. Second of all,
thank you.
Stop with the fanboy stuff. We're just talking here, and we're just boys here.
That's what I'm talking about.
I appreciate it, but
That's
still,
cool.
It's like you go to the fanboy stuff, and then I can't have a beer with you because I think you're creeping on me. Just
you're right. I shouldn't have said it. Damn it, I ruined it.
Hey,
leave it alone. We talk. We're having fun.
Well, maybe next time.
I'm thinking about you with lipstick, looking at a picture of me, and I'm like, you know, really, seriously.
I was longing at your picture while I was popping it up here while we were talking.
This is
great.
He's
a handsome guy.
This is great for me.
Yeah. I don't care what Tyler says. You are a handsome guy.
Yeah, that's full of shit.
Well, maybe next time.
I'll talk to you guys later.
Well, hey,
all right, DMac. Have a good one, man. We'll talk to you
so
soon.
much, man.
Okay,
we'll let you get out of here, man. Have a good night.
What a great way to end that, man.
Yeah,
that was
giving
hilarious,
me shit.
dude.
Nothing like that.
Oh, my God. Fanboying out over there. You're all red. This is awesome.
Am I red? Oh, yeah, I'm a little bit. It could be the,
just the whiskey.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'll
some
admit,
great interviews, man.
He shit on me in there at the end, but I appreciate that more than anything else.
I mean, I don't blame you one bit.
If I was necessary, he did shit on me.
Yeah, that's the way to go. Next time we have, and what I was going to say is, maybe next time we have him on, we'll get in a third mic. Maybe we'll have a better table, and we can get him in here in person, and you won't have to do that because you'll be in person. It'll be a little
He's
less.
not coming over. But
you never know.
We can probably have him on Zoom. He'll get on Zoom. I've seen that before. So,
yep.
Either way, episode 100 is off to a rip-roaring start.
That was awesome, man. Chiefs,
Farzin,
Broncos.
DMac.
Amazing.
Heavy hitters coming to the table here with the Fringe Fanatics boys. But we are going to get into the music break, and we've got a rest of a show to get to, which is still wild. It's 6:33.
It's going to be a long one, guys, but it's going to be worth it.
But we are going to get into the music break. Chris won't be able to talk if he's in the studio. Dan, you're an asshole. People are going to be giving me shit for that one for a little bit. But it's okay. I'll take it. I love getting shit. If you can't get shit, you can't dole it out, and I can dole it out in bunches. So I will take any shit I can get. But it is time for the music break.
Beta Ray!
Beta Ray. I'm going to say it right all this week and for the rest of the month. Beta Ray is the music break guest of the month. The song you are about to hear is First and the 15th But if you are in Denver and want to hear that live and in person, you can see them September 14th at Cervantes
this Saturday.
Masterpiece Ballroom. If you are not watching the UFC fight or Canelo fighting, you can make it on over to Cervantes and see Beta Ray at the Bumpin' Uglies. I don't know what it's called. It's 2024 Bumpin' Uglies with Tunnel Vision, Dubbist, or DeBest, and Beta Ray. I'm gonna get Beta Ray right because they're on here.
That's
the rest,
easy. Beta Ray.
I don't know. DeBest, Dubbest.
Yeah.
Either way, this weekend, Saturday, they are playing. You could probably hear this song you're about to hear in person, but we're gonna get it going right now. It goes something a little bit like this, coming at you live. Here's Beta Ray, First and the 15.
She weeps, oh, 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 when the weepy, oh, 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 a piece of duty, no feet around, till time can make it alive, oh, oh. Somewhere between the days and nights, you check your pulse and to realize the first of the month is closing in. Soon you can breathe and dream again. Oh, and we keep pushing on. Oh, and we keep moving on. Oh, and we keep pushing on. Oh, and we keep moving on. Oh, when she weeps, oh, 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 when a weepy, oh, 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 a face of duty, no feet around, till time can make it alive, oh, oh. Oh, and we keep pushing on. Oh, and we keep moving on. Oh, and we keep pushing on. Oh, and we keep moving on. When she weeps, oh, 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 when a weepy, oh, 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 a piece of duty, no feet around, till time can make it alright, oh, oh. Oh, 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 when a weepy, oh, 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 when a weepy, oh, 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 when a weepy, oh, oh, oh.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. We are going to get into the rest of the show, but we are going to get into a little bit of news that's breaking in terms of the show, I guess, because we've got our first sponsor.
We do have our first
Yes.
sponsor. Yes. We work with the guy, Dan Richardson, and his wife, Stephanie, and they are huge collectors into football cards, Funko Pops, comic books, action figures, anything in those realms. And it's a huge world. When I first started working with them, I had no idea. I knew people who got into this, but
I didn't realize the breadth of it.
It's a
so
vast world.
Wide,
I mean,
anything
I'm totally
and everything.
new. Yep. And so they, hats off to them, are branching off onto their own and starting their own company with it. It's called SDR Collectibles. The first show, if anybody's not on, I think it's Whatnot. He told me about it.
It's
an
place
app
where you buy stuff. Yeah,
it's almost like an eBay kind of thing, but check it out, download it. He says they sell all kinds of different things on there, primarily into like football cards or any different baseball cards and stuff like that. But their first show will be on September 30th.
September 30th.
Like I said, they're going to be selling Funko Pops. They have a huge selection. I've seen his toy collection. It's massive. Comic book collection, huge. And then a vast football card collection as well. Some baseball cards, I believe, basketball cards. So they will be selling and auctioning off things there. They will be our sponsor, where we will be mentioning them every week, giving links once they get fully up and running as far as like website, social media, and everything like that. We'll be giving links to that. But we want to just give the first step, the first introduction into their company.
We're breaking the news, so SDR will be our first full-on sponsor, so to speak. I mean, they're going to be we're going to make sure to basically add them on every show. Overlays and stuff will be coming. That's kind of the stuff we were talking about earlier in terms of stuff that's going to be changing a little bit. We are going to be doing a little bit of different stuff in terms of like the production of the show. We're going to have overlays and stuff coming on, and then we'll be throwing the SDR stuff on there. So you can see that stuff throughout the podcast. It won't just be in the beginning or the end. It's going to pop up throughout. So that, we're trying to give them the best possible, sponsorship we can.
Yeah, so if anybody out there collects football cards, collects anything along those lines, comic books, go to SDR Collectibles. They already have a Facebook page, SDR Collectibles, and going forward in the future, we will have a link up for it.
Yep, we will be making sure to mention them each and every week on each and every episode, tagging them and all those things. So
that's right.
Thank you, SDR Collectibles. Thank you, Dan and Stephanie. We appreciate you guys greatly. I saw Dan was on here earlier. He was talking shit to me about DMac, which is just par for the course. But we need to get to the rest of the show. Let's touch on our weekends real quick. Chad, tell me about your weekend.
The weekend was an awesome weekend. We, Friday night, went to State House, had another rip-roaring time. And then Saturday, we grilled out, played a bunch of cards, watched the new Kill Tony Madison Square Garden. Oh, my God, man. That was fantastic. It's an event. I feel like that was funnier than the roast of Tom Brady. That was amazing, man.
I haven't got all the way through the roast of Tom Brady. Because you hear all the highlights, basically. That's the only thing that's bummer about, social media and stuff anymore. You hear, the best parts of everything before
you should have watched it live, dude. I texted you when I was watching the roast of Tom Brady. I was like, you need to be watching this. It was awesome. But I think this Kill Tony Madison Square, and that's only night one. Night two hasn't even been released yet. They just released a recent one with Fitzsimmons and Sam J. We've just gotten 10 minutes into that one. It's pretty good. So we did that Saturday. Man, had some drinks. It was a damn good time. Sunday, first full day of football. Went down to the basement. Burned 1,800 calories. I went psycho, dude. It was awesome. Threw on Red Zone. Scott Hansen was basically like, Chad, get off your fat ass. Start pumping some iron.
I was going to say, that's a lot of masturbation.
I was like 7 hours. Like, where are you?
1,800 calories, dude?
How's that masturbation?
How is your arm working right now? I don't know. I just threw it out.
Yep, good try, man. I keep telling Chris, I was like, you need to work out, dude. Come on, man.
No, dude, I don't. I'm chubby and I'm living it.
You don't have to stick with that,
Look,
man.
see this? See how tight that is right
That's
there?
why you get, tight jackets.
Yeah, no, I do. I wear tight jackets. The only bummer part about jackets is I've got broad shoulders. It's not so much my belly.
Broad.
It's my broad shoulder. Big boned. I think that's the other one. Or husky.
I was going to say, that's what Kevin James used to say.
When I was 13 years old.
King of Queens.
Do you want to go buy in the husky section? Yes, I do.
Big and tall. Not big and tall.
No,
husky.
it's husky, yes. But yeah,
anyway, so Sunday, that's what we did. And then in other words, Monday, I just want to get to that. Went to a concert at the Ball Arena. They say happy wife, happy life. That's what I'm all about.
Dude, don't lie. Incubus is your favorite band, and Coheed and Cambria.
Coheed and Cambria was a big favorite of mine back when I was in high school.
Coheed and Cambria is
Dude.
a really good show.
Dude, they fucking rock. I can't believe you saw them. What?
I saw them once at the Mammoth Event Center, which is where DU plays. I don't know if it's still called the
I've
Mammoth
been
Event
there.
Center. But I saw them open for Avenged Sevenfold.
Oh, wow.
I was big into
That's
Avenged
crazy. I think
Sevenfold.
Dan has a tattoo.
He does. Yeah,
Yep.
a lot of people have the skull bat, or it has a name.
That was my fourth time, I think, seeing Coheed. So it was kind of crazy where, like,
How long was their set? I'm going to ask.
Like Coheed's?
Yeah.
Maybe 45 minutes or something like that.
That's
You
not
know,
a
they
lot.
were the opener.
I don't know how you could play just random songs because all their stuff's like concept albums. Like
Oh yeah, it's all I read the graphic novels. It's all based on their kind of comic books.
Yeah.
Really good sci-fi. I am just waiting for someone to fund like a good series or a movie based on his, because Claudio Sanchez is the author of all of it. And dude, the graphics behind of it, it's really good comic book stuff.
You know that Umbrella Academy is written by the guy from My Chemical Romance.
Oh, that makes sense. That is a really weird. Yeah, that totally makes sense.
You're a fucking
dude.
asshole.
I'm a hater
You're
on
an
Umbrella,
asshole,
dude.
You're
No,
an
it's
asshole.
weird.
No,
but,
I'll say this: I don't like My Chemical Romance, but they do have one really good album. Which I do.
way
love.
back in the day. That was back when we were. In high school.
I don't even
recent.
like that one. Oh my god, I can't remember it. But keep talking while.
What I was gonna get to was, man, yeah, Incubus. I love seeing her happy. That was like her first big concert whenever she was young, and so she gets to see it. It was the 20-year anniversary of Morning View. I mean, dude, you know, that's what's so crazy about Incubus. She said it after we left the show, and I was like, I'm gonna steal that. That's a good quote. She said you could take 3 songs from Incubus and play it for somebody, and they would literally be like, that's 3 different bands. The genres that they bounce around with, it just varies so much from Animali to Morning View to to a song like Talk Shows on Mute. You know, they remind me in a little bit of a sense of like Tool or some band that they just can be so artistic and experimental that they're not going to pigeonhole themselves into something. And holy shit, dude!
Good show.
For one, you know, this is for her. I took her. I bought these tickets for her in June, and I was like, all right, this is for you.
I was like, Chad's at a concert. I didn't even know.
Yep.
Andrew was at that concert also.
Are you for real?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's awesome. And Blair, who we've had on the podcast.
We didn't practice last night. He's like, I got to go to Incubus. And
Dude.
he's like, yeah, I don't have to go, but probably should. And I was like, we don't need to practice Monday night. So go to the show.
Yeah, it was totally worth it. And we joked around about it. You know, all of our friends are kind of getting married and having kids, and we're going to a concert on Monday night, rocking out. And holy shit, did they put on a show? Because I went into it, man, like, you know, I'll listen to Incubus every now and then for her when we put it on the speaker and stuff like.
Pardon me while I burst.
Brandon definitely sings it way better.
Flames.
But dude, I was like, how are they going to do the ball arena? Do they still have a following
Dude, don't act
big
like
enough?
you're best friends when like Brandon sings it better. Like you're not on a first name basis, dude. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, I'm going to keep going. All right, so dude, I was like, do they have a following big enough to fill the ball arena? Like, how are they doing the ball arena? This is Incubus from, you know, a band that we were listening to in high school.
Yeah.
Holy shit, dude. Full, and the production value. I know you saw my video and stuff. The lasers they put out.
Fucking lasers.
I love lasers, man. I was telling people, I was like, dude, I wish STS9 would use those lasers, man. Dude, it was a kick-ass show.
Well, that's good.
And then you look over, and she's just having the time of her life. She loved it. She was living her full, dipping like she's back in high school and stuff.
Songs.
No, maybe like 4. I mean, you know, they had hits on the radio.
There's a
Drive,
few that you're gonna know,
you know, a good amount. Animali was back really popular whenever I was a senior and stuff. So, yeah, I mean, there was quite a few that I knew. But, I mean, yeah, it was that's what was so fun is, like, Coheed was like, I was reliving my high school days, and then Incubus comes on, and she's totally reliving. I look over, and she's just raging. And so it was just great. And, yeah, we had a blast. And so then I had the day off today, so that made it even better.
Yeah, no, it's also funny that there's 3 people that I know that went to that show for their girlfriends.
Yeah, and
you, Andrew, and then Meryl's friend Lauren's boyfriend Sean.
Oh wow,
Also went.
that's crazy, dude.
But it's like that's the only reason they were going,
dude.
But that's
here's
fine. Yeah, you got support, dude.
Quick little story. Like,
Let me hear it, Chad.
2/3 of the audience is obviously there. You know, it's a girl audience. They love Incubus and stuff like that. There's a lady next to us. Not trying to be mean or anything. That she reminded me a lot of like Melissa McCarthy, but she was that person at a show that was wooing uncontrollably. She got so drunk. She turned to us after Cody and was like, "So my name's Beth. Who are you guys?" And just introduced. She was like, "I think you guys are awesome." And just like throughout
like,
the whole show,
do you want to woo with me?
she's like, "This is my favorite band, number one." Here's the thing, man. I love it, dude. I just think that how different people are is so great. You know, my favorite band's SCS9. I don't expect, if I meet somebody else that's like that, fuck yeah. But I'm never going to expect that. So if I meet someone else where their favorite band is Incubus, that fascinates me because I'm like, what makes them?
Yeah.
Why is it? That,
yeah, I get it.
And I just think that's awesome. And see, because last night was her Super Bowl. She got drunk. Her husband like took care of her, just fucking let her party.
Yeah.
So hell yeah, you know?
Yeah,
dude,
no, I get it.
I never mentioned when we watched Longlegs, they had a lot of T-Rex in it. That's your favorite.
T-Rex.
That's one of your favorite bands.
Yep. One of the bands that made me realize I could play rock and roll as a 2-piece.
Exactly.
So.
Dude, the quote of the movie, when the movie first started, it was a quote from one of their songs. And I was like, that's fucking Chris's
I like
band.
how you're waving that pen around.
I'd keep it in my hand. I'm like a OCD dude.
No, that's cool though. Like I'm not gonna shit on it. You know?
How was your weekend? You went to a wedding, right?
I did. I went to a wedding. It was up in Genesee. It was at the Christie's.
Who got married?
Actually, this is a kind of a cool thing. Meryl, this chick was on Hinge. I can't remember her name right now. I'm gonna feel bad about this. I'm probably gonna see it pop up here soon. That I don't remember her name. But Meryl actually gave this girl a reading about this guy she met on Hinge, and Hinge is the dating app you're meant to delete, and it actually ended up working out. So this is kind of like the first. I guess you could say like positive testimonial in terms of like Meryl like gave these people a reading that led them to end up getting married.
Okay, I'm trying to understand. So this girl had just met this guy on Hinge, and she got a reading by Meryl, kind of being like, "What do you think about this guy?"
She was her first coaching client. Okay, so I'm getting updates. Meryl's
all right,
watching because I made sure to tell her to watch because we had audio issues last week, but. So she was her first coaching client, and then she met this guy on Hinge, and was kind of like, I don't know, like, is this something I should pursue? And Meryl gave her a reading, and it basically led to them getting married. So it's kind of like
that's pretty cool,
like a good testimonial for Meryl's Mystic.
Nice,
shout out Meryl's Mystic. But it was pretty cool. I guess the readings aren't. I guess I helped her before she met him. Oh yeah, I know that she was her coaching client beforehand.
All right, so how was the wedding?
It was a good wedding. It was a little bit weird. That place is super rad. Christie's at Genesee, because it's like not that far in the mountains. Like you think about Genesee, it's like 15 minutes past like I-70. Like like you think like the mountains, it's like 15 minutes into the mountains and you're there.
Okay.
And you could still see like all of downtown, so it was really cool. Like where they got married, their what's it called, the trestle? Is it trestle? I don't know. The thing that you get married under,
like an arc.
Yeah, something like that. The way it was facing, like you see like just nothing but like mountains and trees, and then like over here to the left you see Denver and like the lights of Denver. Wow. The only bummer part, really close to the highway.
So you hear, yeah, gotcha.
But other than that, great wedding. Very emotional, for the people involved. But
it's a big step.
Yeah, big step. You're making the leap. But it was a little bit disjointed in terms of the music because it was like country and then like Frank Sinatra.
Oh wow, that's not what I thought you were going to say. That is
no.
Way
so
different.
that was a little strange.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's a reasoning for
that. Well, dude, it's a lot of times these days what people are doing instead of like, okay, we'll let it just the DJ, and I don't know how this situation went, but like a lot of the weddings
there was a DJ.
Yeah, there'll be the bride and groom be like, this is my wedding. This is the playlist that I want. Play these fucking songs.
Or otherwise, I'll kill you.
and I'm not going to pay you. So
Bridezilla.
that's probably what happened.
Just kidding.
So one of them's really into country, one of them's really into swing.
Other than that, we did. Just to notify everybody, Along Came Polly is on Netflix. Started watching it again last night. Got almost all the way through it.
This is like a year and a half in the making. Nice.
Yeah. Episode.
Did you get to the basketball scene yet?
I did. Great movie, by the way. This is the first 45 minutes I watched last night. So awesome.
And then you're rewatching it, right? You have seen it before.
Seen
okay,
it.
I thought so. Yeah. Cool.
But that was great. Also, we've been watching this crazy show. Is it My Worst Ex?
Oh man, she told me about that, dude. Holy shit! I don't watch that shit, but yeah, she told me about it.
We've all had a worst ex.
Yeah.
Some of us might be with them right now and not know it. But it's an insane show, dude. If you want to realize like some like insane manipulation shit where one of them, this chick was in jail for 9 months.
Oh, wow.
Because this guy like fabricated this whole story and got her arrested.
Wow.
For the shit he was doing.
So they're all different stories? It's not just about one?
No, it's not just one.
Okay.
Like every episode is a different story, and the first one it wasn't like the first one. There's this guy who's pretending to be a cop or like an FBI agent or something like that, dude, and he's the one where that chick goes to jail for 9 months, and she could not, like, through everything, could not get out of the fact that this dude set her up.
Oh,
like,
wow.
9 months in prison.
Damn.
So
that's fucked up.
I would
man.
recommend watching it. Super good. Other than that, lots of sports.
Oh man, yeah, lots over the weekend.
I was enjoying that. Almost too much football.
Do you know what
It's almost too much.
Dude, I hate when you talk to me like that. There's never enough football.
Right,
okay,
right.
Dude, I know.
I'm not.
I get done watching the early games.
It's hard for me to get into the college stuff, and I'm like, I watch like 2 college games. It's a lot.
Yeah, I watched a lot of college football on Saturday. But you know how what you were talking about, and so she thinks the same thing. It's just like I was so psyched for Red Zone. I go down to the basement, like I said, work out for a few hours, and I come up and we start playing cards and everything, and then so putting on the Broncos in the afternoon games on Red Zone. She's like, God, there's a lot of football.
Yeah. Ugh. I'm like, still?
There's not enough.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, it's crazy.
I do feel bad because I'm like, Thursday night football, Friday night football.
Friday night
Saturday
was too much, dude.
Yeah.
That is such a mistake. The field was dog shit down there in Brazil.
Yeah.
I hate the NFL for doing that. Friday night, you're right. Okay, I'll give you that. Because of the first week in the Friday night
It was
football,
a lot.
That was too much.
It was a lot.
Going forward, hopefully it'll be better. And then after week 4, we'll have buys and everything. But, dude, you know what we started watching is that HBO show Jinx.
Where the guy fucking admits that he killed somebody,
and they just do nothing about it, dude.
No,
if you're
I thought
rich,
he got busted.
I don't know. So far, we're only
you're watching the first. There's 2 seasons.
Yeah, we're only like 2 episodes in, but man, dude, if you're rich, you just get away with murder, man.
It was wild. Like this guy is getting interviewed, and he walks into the bathroom, and he's like,
Wow.
I killed them all.
Okay, stop. Yeah,
dude, you have to know this.
No, dude, we're only like 2 episodes in, man.
You exist in the world of social media, dude.
No, I haven't seen because this show was really kind of like viral 3 months ago and stuff.
No, this was viral like a year ago. You're like
maybe, yeah. I'm way behind. So we're catching up to it.
I didn't even.
But
watch
I don't want to get ruined. I don't want to get ruined on it. But dude,
right, well, I'm sorry.
You're breaking shit over here.
I'm
man.
knocking shit over. Things are falling.
Dude, it's just nuts because it's straight up like a Succession kind of thing. But one of them killed somebody, and they just swept it under the rug. It's crazy. What are you looking to do? What's going on? What are you typing?
Bad things about you.
Oh,
no,
man.
people are messaging us.
Okay.
We do have a few people talking.
Nice.
But
appreciate you tuning in. Tune in on Twitch / Fringe Fanatics.
Yeah.
Okay.
Soon we'll be on YouTube and stuff. But let's get
that
into the
was
NFL.
our weekends. Let's get into some sports ball.
Sports ball.
B-Dubs, we know how to do the jingle. Just get us for a sponsor.
Get your headlines here.
Yes, it is time for headlines.
2 hours in, buddy.
2 hours
marathon
in.
episode.
This is gonna be a 2.5 hour episode.
It's all good,
but
man.
it's fine
That's
because
why we started early.
Yeah, that's right. We did start early, but it is time for us to get into the NFL, and we've got some changes coming a little bit. We're not going to be deep diving games, so to speak. Chad came up with something new, and I like it.
I do.
We're gonna roll with it, but first,
personal foul, 69, offense. He was giving them the business.
that's right, and we're giving you the business of football. And that's what we do here on Fringe Fanatics. It's not all, deep diving and, all these things, stats.
For the last 2 years, we've broken down what we did. The first year was nuts. See, each year we're evolving.
The first year we didn't.
We
know
literally
what the fuck
broke down
we were doing.
each game. Like I don't know,
16 games.
We're like being Chris Boomer and.
And we're like, why are these episodes
NFL
taking 3 hours?
Oh, man, that was a lot. It was a lot of prep. Last year, we tried to minimize it down, and we each took 2 games. That was still a lot. So this year, we thought, okay, everybody watches these games. Our audience, they know football. Everybody, social media, like you said, people see this stuff. They can catch up on it their own.
Yeah.
What we are going to introduce this year is a new segment. I will provide the soundbite this week until we get it for next week. It is going to be called Daily Dogs.
Daily Dogs.
The dogs of the NFL that stood out, and we're naming it Daily Dogs, obviously, after our mascot, John Daly.
Yeah, it's not Daily, D-A-I-L-Y.
Exactly.
No, it's D-A-L-Y.
Yep, just like the
get it
Daily
get
Dose
it right.
of Excellence.
Yes.
So, Chris.
I'll let you start
All right,
this.
yeah, I'll have at it, man.
I'm going to let you pop the bottle, so to speak. Crack it. Let's see what you got.
I'll crack it, and I'm also going to blend this into, you weren't expecting this, throwing you curveballs like I'm fucking Paul Skeens over here.
Yeah, you would.
I'm going to give you guys a quick little rec center. So if anybody else out there has NFL Plus, that's how I watch Red Zone. You were just talking about it. That's what you need to do.
We might be splitting it.
That's exactly how I can spend 3 hours working out downstairs because Scott Hansen is the fucking legend and god of NFL. Dude, when he said 7 hours in NFL, I was just, let's fucking go. It was so dumb.
You're all down there just lifting. 7 hours!
Acting like I'm buff, man. It was so dumb.
No, I like it.
But anyway,
the only way to get buff is to act
when
like
you subscribe to NFL Plus Premium, the $14.99 subscription, you get access to NFL Pro. And that gets you all of the next-gen stats. So right now, I'm on pro.nfl.com. Anthony Richardson, who is my first daily dog of the week.
No, I feel left
Not
out. I don't
D-O-G.
I don't have next-gen stats.
Once you get NFL Plus, dude, you will get it. And, dude, the insights on it, you get their stats against the blitz, stats for
I
rushing.
feel like I exist right now.
Oh, man.
I have no
it is
knowledge
awesome. I feel like a shill for fucking NFL Plus right now. But you know what? We, like you said, 6 degrees. Fucking
12, 18,
24,
whatever.
30. It'll work out.
It's all good.
Anyway, that's how I'm getting these stats right now that I'm going to be spinning out for Anthony Richardson, who was a fucking dog over the weekend, man. It came in a loss. Well, whatever. But that's just it. Some of these like MVP awards or some, whatever accolades that some different shows hand out to these guys, it could just only be in a win. But Anthony Richardson was the MVP of this game. C.J. Stroud played an awesome game. But, dude, Anthony Richardson, everybody saw this throw if you were in the NFL. 60
I am in the NFL.
5 yards in the air. This ball just dropped. It went so far that and so high that if you rewatch the highlight, you don't see it goes out of the screen and then just out of nowhere falls into Alec Pearson's hands like God just dropped it into his hands and into the end zone. 65 yards. Here's the craziest part about it, though. He got mad pressure beforehand, stumbles, kind of gets up a little bit, throws on his back foot, doesn't even really step into the throw, and just launches it 65 yards. That's one of his 3 passes that were caught over 50 yards. Unreal, man.
I mean, we knew Anthony Richardson, if he could stay healthy, which was what he ran into last year, has a prolific arm and incredible running ability. The only problem is the guy doesn't like to slide, and that is why he did not make it through the full season last year. But
that is also why he had an amazing rushing touchdown.
There we go.
Where he ran over 2 Texans defenders. I don't know if they're one of them I think was a linebacker, another DB, but so here's a quick rundown of his stats. 9 for 19, 212 yards, not stellar. He had 2 TDs, 1 interception, but 6 carries, 56 yards, and a rushing touchdown. And that rushing touchdown is the one that put him up close within I think a field goal. I think that put him within 2 of scoring. Thank you. Appreciate the ice.
You're
the amazing
best, Hannah.
Hannah.
Thank you.
You're awesome.
You're the best, Hannah. We love you.
Here, while I'm going on this soliloquy, will you give us a little refill? Thank you, sir. So, Anthony Richardson, it's like 1st and goal on the 3rd-yard line. He takes it, QB keeper to the right side, and instead of just pulling off like any other, frail quarterback by just trying to dive.
Yeah, he lays that shoulder
Dude,
down.
he takes the hit and runs the defender over. I could not believe it, man, because he just barreled him over. This dude is a dog. 3 passes, like I said, over 50 yards. Let's see. The third, okay, so that pass that traveled 65, this is where NFL Pro stats pays off. 3rd longest pass completed through the air since 2016, since Next Gen Stats started. That big, long pass, that's 3rd longest since 2016.
Who's first?
I don't know. I didn't look that up.
I wish I knew that.
I wish. But here's another one that you'll appreciate.
I love it.
He averaged 12.5 yards per attempt on Sunday, dude. That's 4
massive, dude.
times more than Bo Nix and Caleb Williams.
I see. You didn't need to throw that
I
middle
just
part
did,
in there,
though,
but
man.
you did. And
Thank
I
you for the
appreciate
refill.
That. Yeah,
That's my
I
first
wish I
daily
wouldn't have
dog.
refilled you.
I am excited for Anthony Richardson the rest of the year. I hope he stays healthy because he's a guy that lays his shoulder in there. He puts his body on the line. But it's exciting football. I can't wait to watch the rest of it.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it as well.
Give me your dog.
Well, my dog is a pretty easy one to go to, and that is Mr. Saquon Barkley.
Got me a lot of points.
Yeah, I scored Chad a ton of points.
33, baby.
33 points. Well, 21 of those were off of his 3 touchdowns. And just the guy, we've been waiting for him to get out from underneath of the New York Giants. And to see him enter somewhere where he's stealing touchdowns away from Jalen Hurts within the red zone, it's nice to see because I don't know what if this is the way this continues. I don't know how you stop Philly unless if things all stay the same. You're looking at like Philly, San Fran in the NFC title game.
And that would be a hell of a game.
Yeah.
I would almost take San Francisco at this point. I mean, we can go on a whole nother tangent with
the
them,
beautiful thing
but
is this NFL week, before we move on, is we got, and as much as it pains me to say this, we've got a taste of the best head coaches in the NFL to begin the week and to end the week.
It was awesome, man. I mean,
totally different coaching styles.
Dude, Kyle Shanahan, this is the last I'll digress on opposite
Shanahan,
of Barkley.
just the name in general.
But yes, I mean, dating back from his dad and Mike Shanahan, I hate got to give props to Broncos and Mike Shanahan, but Mike, they brought it up on Heed the Call. I know you heard it early because I listened to the same episode while I was mowing my yard.
Yeah,
Mike yard looks great out there.
It does. I was gonna say
that's what I was listening.
Freshly mowed.
Yeah, that's what I did on my day off.
Yeah, I like it.
Hell yeah. So, Mike Shanahan, everybody wanted to play for him back in the day because you knew you were going to have a great running game. Kyle Shanahan is keeping that going. Look who's also doing it. Fucking Mike McDaniel down there in Miami. That is the key to having a great NFL offense. And, dude, they won in the trenches, and he coached circles around Robert Saleh last night.
Yeah, it was definitely the master showing the student what was up because unfortunately, and I don't want to digress too much onto this game, but Rodgers is coming back from an Achilles, and he's almost 40 years old. We saw Kirko Chains, same thing. Rusty.
That defense, it was TJ Watt that did that in that game. But more than anything, with Aaron was barely on the field because of Kyle Shanahan's offense. You look at the time possession, it was like a fat kid eating a big pizza, then somebody else that just had a barely
that
little
possession
bit
coming out of halftime killed them.
It was just 9 minutes, 10 minutes every time, dude.
All
right, back to Barkley. We're sorry, Saquon, Mr.
Saquon,
Quad God, dude. I can't wait to see what this guy does on a field that actually works, man. He was slipping the very first play of the game. He slipped, 4-yard loss. It was like a 6-yard loss or something like that.
Yeah.
So
obviously the field was terrible. J.J. Watt came out afterwards and was talking about, like, you can't have football players playing on the same field as a soccer field. It's different. Yes. These guys are moving fleet-footed, and it's not stepping and cutting. And
listen to us.
350-pound dudes just chunking up the middle of the field, every play.
Yeah.
It's bad. That's the only problem with these international games is, unfortunately, The fields aren't built for football. You're usually using soccer fields, pared down to the NFL field, because soccer fields are gigantic when you really look at the scale of them compared to an NFL field. But there's a lot of issues. Obviously, the biggest one, and I don't know if you can blame this on the field, but Jordan Love, MCL, probably missing 4 to 6 weeks. Nobody really knows yet.
Yeah.
But that was the biggest thing coming out of this game. But Saquon Barkley, man, if you took the chance on him, as some people did, much like Chad did in fantasy, because the big thing, as we've always talked about, availability is the best ability. But he has struggled with that. But I do think in a situation where he is not the main guy, because who has been there for the Giants? Kadarius Toney, 2-3 years ago?
Oh, that is not the answer.
Darren Waller, 2
Sterling
years
Shepard
ago.
sometimes. I mean, they've never had and I think that's why, Chris, you saw my draft book, dude. I could show you. I had Saquon mocked. I know you did. Dude, it's straight up like
you left
Waterboy.
it out. Yeah, I was like,
yep.
Watergate. Water boy. Talk about
Exactly.
Watergate, son.
Nice. But, dude, I had Saquon mocked in all of my first rounds because he's so motivated, because he's finally on a good team, man.
Yeah.
It happens. I see it happen all the time with the Chiefs, where we get these guys that were on shitty teams, and they come here like, I'm on a good team. I want to work hard so that I can get the success that these guys have got.
Well, let's just case in point right now.
You going to get his stats?
No, Daniel Jones.
Oh, okay.
More pick sixes than touchdowns.
Oh, man, dude, that is an
Since
insane
signing
stat. That's a good stat.
$160 million deal.
All right. We keep digressing off of Saquon. Right here, NFL Pro, next gen stats, yards per carry. 5, and you're right. That's why he's doing better, is because he's not with Daniel Jones, dude. He sucks, man. Yards per carry, 4.5 in that first game against the Packers. Success rate of 45.8%. Yeah. I mean, this dude is good. And he's
he's doing it through the air. He's doing it on the ground.
Yep.
Which is what he's meant to do.
Yeah. I can't wait for the first time the Eagles play the Cowboys, though, man. That's going to be a good game.
Oh, man, they might score 50. It might be like that Broncos Cowboys game back in, was like 55-52 or something. 55.
Who knows? It's tough to say with those games.
We'll get to your second one.
Let's get to the second one. Yes. It's a defensive guy. So, obviously, those box scores and the stats aren't the same.
We talked about him earlier a little bit.
We did. TJ Watt, man. I lost $10 on this game because of TJ Watt. And, because of that, he merits talking about him. He is my daily dog. TJ Watt, dude. So there was an awesome promo on FanDuel Sportsbook. Get out as FanDuel. We will take your sponsorship.
Yep.
It was an awesome promo where it was 100% bonus on a money line. You know who I thought was a guarantee 100% to win that game? The Falcons against the Steelers.
Oh, I thought so too. The offense, like in terms of like weapons.
Yeah.
Whether it was Fields or Russell,
dude,
I'm like, oh, dude, they're going to score at least 2 touchdowns.
I think Kirk Cousins is waking up in the middle of the night still having like TJ Watt nightmares. Like, oh, he's coming at me.
Do you remember Sam Darnold for the Jets when he was like, I'm seeing ghosts out there?
Seeing ghosts. That's what he's seeing, dude. Woo. Okay, so here's the box score. It doesn't jump off the page. 4 tackles, 1 sack, 3 pressures. He was key in their run defense. A lot of those tackles came pretty much. I don't know how many tackles for losses there were, but a lot of them were right at the line of scrimmage. They could not get the running game going with Bijan Robinson. It was 3 pressures.
Okay.
But TJ Watt, there were 2 strip sack fumbles that he caused, both wiped away by flags. One of them was by a defensive holding. The other one was kind of like a false start.
He jumped. Then you could literally, I know when you're talking about. He won.
Yeah,
it was simultaneous.
And that's,
I hate to say it, Ty goes to running.
And Mike Tomlin had this perfect response when the ref said to him, he was like, "He got a jump start," and Mike Tomlin was like, "He doesn't need one. He's TJ Watt. Come on."
No, I mean, that ball snapped and he was already across the line. As soon as it moved, he was across the line, and you're like, "Oh, well, that's done."
So I'm watching this game in Red Zone. The Falcons, they get off to a good start. They're doing well. They got a little bit of flow going with Bijan and stuff. Kyle Pitts is I think he got a touchdown. Then TJ Watt takes over this game, dude. And he is seriously like a Micah Parsons. Like, I'm going to even...
Micah Parsons had a good week this week, too.
He did. That's why I'm going to even go back older. LT, man. It's a guy like LT to
Aaron
where
Donald?
the whole like in Aaron Donald, the whole offense has to account for him.
I mean, you could probably triple team this guy at this point.
And it wouldn't matter.
He's gonna get through.
It was ridiculous watching this dude. It
Yeah.
was so much fun to watch, man. Because the Falcons, they have all these weapons, and they couldn't do shit because they just had so much fear in their eyes because of T.J. Watt.
Well, that's what I was talking to DMac about. I mean, I don't care about
Next week,
the Steelers' offense, dude. This game's
Yep.
if we can't score more than 16 points, we're fucked.
as long as you got Chris Boswell out there at 50 years old kicking 50-yard field goals,
three
dude.
50-yard field
Yeah.
goals.
I was like, who the hell did this guy come from? Or like, where the hell
He's
did this guy
always
come
been
from?
there.
He's always been there, but he's never really been much of a 50-yarder.
No, that was weird though. I'm like,
Yeah.
I've never known him to be like. He's always like pretty legit
Yeah.
in terms of like his completion, his make percentage. But yeah, just like, whoa, dude, every one of them was like 53, 54, 55. It's
Insane.
Like, Jesus Christ.
And then the punter gets hurt. Actually, has a season-ending injury.
He's done.
That's
They signed Cortland.
embarrassing.
Cortland.
He's always been on and
He
off
was
the
on.
team.
He was on the Broncos. Corliss Waitman.
Okay.
Corliss Waitman. Yep,
So
that's it.
Boswell steps in to punt it, like we mentioned earlier with D-Back, has a net average of like 46 on that punt because it wasn't returned.
Yeah.
God. Boswell, man. Him and DJ Watt,
So
MVPs of that game.
Boswell is your.
No, TJ Watt. Good call, dude. I mean, really? I thought about making Boswell.
Either
no
one,
dog.
Boswell or TJ.
All right, let's hear your second
Well,
one.
mine, and this one's a little bit of a stretch for me because I never thought I'd be saying this. I honestly thought we'd be talking about Spencer Rattler by week 2, but I don't know if we will be because Mr. Derek Carr.
This one
and
shocked me.
Clint Kubiak, another one of the Shanahan trees.
Dude.
Just shaking out.
Oh, my God.
Offensive geniuses.
This tree is like the Avatar tree right now.
Yeah.
It's monstrous.
Life just falls.
Anybody
from it.
that comes from the Shanahan tree knows what to do.
We all thought Derek Carr was dead in the water. And granted, they weren't playing a good team.
Yeah,
And
that I know. That's the kicker here.
I don't want to, but, we're going to give the Daily Dogs. He dogged out, okay?
For this week, yep.
He dogged out in
John
a
Daly approves.
47-10 mauling of the Carolina Panthers.
The worst team over the next...
Damn it, Chad, don't do that.
Hit the pin?
No, I just don't downplay the Panthers. I was trying to build this up.
Oh, my God. The Panthers suck, man. You could admit it. But...
No, I can't.
No,
but
dude, Derek Carr, man.
We literally, we're like, he's done. Like, I don't know what he's going to do.
I was making fun of him all offseason, dude.
Yeah, and he goes out, he balls out, and I'm not saying this is anything to come for the rest of the season, but in terms of this week, I'm going to give my daily dog to Mr. Derek Carr because 3 touchdowns. He was balling all over. 19 for 23. I don't know what that percentage is, but it's upper 90s.
Like 94% probably.
Yeah. 3 touchdowns. He's looking good. His QBR is 84.9. 82.6 on the completion percentage. 200 passing yards, not a lot, but you didn't need to do a lot because you were just annihilating the Carolina Panthers there. So I don't know what New Orleans is going to do this year. I do think they are one of those teams that could very well be looking for a head coach mid-season because I don't know if I can't think of his name right now. He was a Broncos coach.
Are you talking about the Saints coach? Or
Yes, it's
Dennis Allen?
Dennis
Yeah.
Allen. Damn
Yeah, because he's been... But, if he keeps winning like this, who knows? He might stay there. He is on the hot seat already, though.
Yeah, no, that's
Just
the thing. It's just you
got to beat up on somebody other than the Panthers.
You gotta beat up somebody other than the Panthers.
Panthers are going to have the first pick.
Dan said, "What? No Baker love." We talked about Baker earlier, Dan. He had a very.
He's
great
all about the
QBR,
Baker love.
dude. And I know it. You gotta love it.
Yep.
Because Cleveland is backpedaling right now, wishing that they had Baker still.
Yeah.
But
if he remembers back in the earlier part of the episode, we did cover that.
we did.
Yep.
Where do you want to go, Chad? We really have 2 things to talk
All right, so let's move. We've covered the Daily Dogs. Let's go into just preview F1. Oh, no, let's finish off the NFL news. We have a couple signings.
and
injuries.
All right, well, yeah, let's do that real quick. Dak becomes the highest paid player in NFL history.
Pretty nuts, man, because I was talking shit on the Cowboys that day. Like, wow, they just totally made a mistake. And then they go in there and just blow out the Browns.
Yeah, but their defense is really good.
Their
But
defense
you're
is good?
talking about a $60 million per year quarterback right now. I don't think he's worth it, and that's the thing we've been talking about now with like this QB bubble, so to speak, because none of these guys are worth this amount of money, really. Patrick Mahomes probably was that tipping point where he's worth that, but it's going to go above it after him.
Yeah.
And that's the problem, because there hasn't and there may not be another Patrick Mahomes, as much as that pains me to say, for a while.
Let's clip that part of the episode out. I'm going to specifically look for that part of the episode. That was good.
Well, whatever. And that worries me, because he is basically the second coming of Brady in terms of what the NFL has to look forward to. Perennially just dominating, and it pains me so much to say, little man I'm talking right now.
Dude, he was late on the Daily Dog segment.
He really
man.
was. That's where we needed him like 10 minutes ago.
That was awesome.
But yeah, this is the stuff we were talking about, and it's like, dude, these guys are gonna just start getting it, because every guy is the next guy.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if you deserve it or not. If you're the next quarterback up, you're getting paid the most.
That's what's so dumb about this whole thing, and I can't wait until we actually have the NFLPA and the owners agree on a QB salary cap, because this guy thinks that he deserves to get paid $60 million a year, but he can't get past round one of the playoffs. Are you kidding me?
I hate to say it, dude. None of these guys deserve to make more than $50 million a year.
Dude, that's so much money.
It's so much money. And then not to mention, like, Patrick Mahomes, he's making, what, 45? It's not till next year he makes 50.
Yeah, I think it's
50.
45 this year.
But I mean, dude, his fucking it's everything else, man. You don't need to make that much money, dude.
It's so dumb, man.
We were talking generational money 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Now it's just obscene. Like you're talking generations,
dude. Okay, look at this: $60 million for Dak. They just paid CD. He's going to be making what, 24, 25, right? It's just under Justin.
I don't know what
it's about 25.
Yeah.
All right. So you got 25 for him. Then you're going to have to pay Micah. Micah's next. You know they're going to have to pay him. So they're going to let probably
you're going to have like three of
Tyler
the highest
Smith
paid players in the NFL.
That's 2/3 of your salary cap.
That
makes no sense, dude.
You can't do it. The salary cap isn't going up enough to make up for these leaps, dude. You're talking $10, $15 million every year. It's insane.
Yep. Well, I'm glad the Cowboys did it, because the Cowboys, Jerry Jones, he's the best GM alive, even though he hasn't won a Super Bowl since 93 or 95
or whatever he said.
Yeah, he doesn't know what he's talking about. But we're going to keep moving on to a couple injuries. Jordan Love, like we mentioned earlier, out 3 to 4 weeks with an MCL sprain. Last 5 seconds of the game. Really unfortunate. Same for Puka Nacua, but that's a PCL strain. He's going on IR, so will be 4 weeks. Here's the big news here. This gets a little touchy. Tyreek gets detained. Same with Calais Campbell, old NFL player, who was trying to defend him. Cops see that
handcuffs just for trying to intervene.
Dude, you're black. Boom, arrested.
Well, I hate to say it.
I mean, I'm just making a joke. It's pretty fucked up.
Tyreek, if you roll the window up on a cop in a traffic stop, you're probably getting pulled out.
Yeah.
Skin color aside.
Well, here's what's weird is because of the body cam footage, you hear one of the cops actually say, that's one of the stars for the Dolphins, right? And they continue.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, they continue to push him on the ground.
Oh, and then like afterwards they got him out and they're like, sit down. And he's like, I don't need to sit down. They fucking need him in the shit.
If I heard of a KC cop doing that to Chris Jones, kick him out of the country, dude.
Oh, no.
I don't want that cop in our country.
Drew Rosenhaus, dude, the amount of money that guy makes and Tyreek's lawyers, oh, dude, those guys are fucked.
Yeah. Because you saw what Drew Rosenhaus said today, right?
They'll take your job. They don't give a shit about money.
Drew Rosenhaus called for those guys' jobs. They need to be fired. Yeah. I mean, dude, it's just it's a simple traffic violation, man.
That's what I think.
We'll get in, it's a touchy subject, but Tyreek was detained and did have a massive 80-yard touchdown, and the celebration was the cherry on top.
Behind the back.
And then somebody else came and handcuffed it. You can't write this any better. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. All right, that finishes up NFL. We're going to quick run through. Do you want to run through NCAA football?
Let's just do it real quick.
We're going to do it real quick. Texas.
Oh, yeah. Oh, hit it. Just go for it.
All right, Texas routs Michigan in the Big House. They still need Connor Stallions. They're going to be probably calling him up real big because he's not even good at coaching high school. Doesn't even know what quarter it is.
Yeah, he doesn't know what down it is. He got
that's right.
overturned on downs because he thought it was third down.
Yep. Needs to figure out sign
If you
stealing.
want to go watch that though, it's insane. What is it? The Untold.
Oh yes,
Connor Stallions,
amazing.
sign stealing.
Yeah, and you can clearly see Michigan needs it. Yeah,
wild.
Yeah, they're not the same. Michigan or Texas, just it was awesome to watch. I've been a big fan of Quinn Ewers. He's now the Heisman favorite.
Yep.
Should be. They're going to be in the top 4 of the college football play.
And then they got fucking Arch waiting in the wings.
Arch Manning, who even whenever they're so big, when they're up so big and blowing people
They
out,
put in Arch
he's
and
going
they're
to
chanting his
and it's
name.
just going to go up to
The
70.
second string guy. Yeah.
Yep. All right. Next up, Notre Dame gets a huge. Notre Dame gets upset huge by Northern Illinois. Northern Illinois, dude. So when I was watching this
probably
game,
gonna be one of the biggest upsets. Number 8.
it pissed me
Notre
off
Dame.
because it ruined my parlay. I had Notre Dame picked in this game, but Northern Illinois. When I was watching this game, they said that the 5 starters on offense, that makes like 100 and some starts in a row. I mean, you get that type of consistency within an offensive line. That's all it takes, man. You got to get these guys playing together. The transfer portal is so overrated. We need consistency. We need team effort. Get these guys to stick around. Yeah, it's a small school, but look what they pulled off in this game where they were supposed to get blown out in Notre Dame.
Well, look how much it meant, dude. I know I brought it up earlier about the coach crying and shit, but dude, first top 25 win for that school ever.
Unbelievable, dude.
It should never happen.
Yeah, I didn't, and
that's one of those games we were talking about where it's like week 0.5, where it's like week 1, which I was mistaken in saying earlier in the week that it was week 0 still. Because of it, it's all just these padded just wins for these teams. Like, CU's supposed to play. North Dakota State, and they barely won, and then they got just hammered by Nebraska, which we'll bring up shortly here, by Patty 2.0.
I almost changed this on the notes, man, because I really didn't like that you put that on there. There is no Patty 2.0.
That's Patty 2.0.
Patty's
Dude,
understudy, okay?
No,
if you're doing a
bigger
play,
than Patrick Mahomes.
He's not bigger.
I think he is.
Has he won any Super Bowls?
No, I mean he's bigger in terms of size.
It doesn't
actual
matter
size.
then, dude. You don't say 2.0.
He's Patty 2.0.
He's his understudy.
Either
okay?
way, dude. How weird is it?
Yeah, dude.
How much this
Have
guy,
you seen where he comes out? Even the
he does
even the
everything.
pregame thing.
Everything,
dude.
It's weird.
And it's weird that Patrick's leaning into it. He's like, "Go, little cuzzo." I'm like, oh my god, dude, come on.
Dude.
But, dude, Nebraska, the pick 6, man. CU's toast.
How about
man.
them playing?
Toast.
No, if they lose to dude, this game this weekend.
Who are they playing this weekend?
CSU.
Oh my god, dude,
this is make or break. You can't turn over 50% of your team every year and say you're using the NIL and the transfer portal to your favor and just
when you're not winning,
murdered.
Yeah.
But when you do win, it's hey, everybody want to talk shit about
people in the offseason were talking about them possibly making the playoff. They're in the Big 12. That's not the Pac-12.
Dude, if they lose this game, they won't.
No.
They won't even get sniff a shitty bowl game.
I don't eat even if they win this game, no. They are not even getting close to the college football playoff.
I mean, they could if they win out.
No, but look at the teams they got to go up against in the Big 12. Do you see Oklahoma State? K-State's ranked 17th. KU, even though they did lose to a good Illinois team, they're going to lose to Illinois, or they're going to lose to KU. No. CU is toast. Just like Basil Hayden, get at us. Sponsorship coming. All right. Dude, CU, yes, they did get to. And Matt Rule, man. We got to mention Matt Rule, dude. He's not meant for the NFL. He sucked on the Panthers because David Tepper's the worst owner maybe in NFL history.
Probably the main issue.
But
yeah.
Look what he did at Baylor. He was awesome at Baylor. He goes back to college, and he's already leading Nebraska in the Big Ten.
Well, he's got Patty 2.0, dude. What are you going to do? Guy's got the same haircut, same sunglasses, same everything, dude.
Next week, if it comes up again, I'm taking that off the notes. Don't call him Patty 2.0.
Dude, now you have just
I know.
created a monster.
Because I did it again. Opening it up.
No, but before we get out of here, we got 2 more things to touch on. We just ran through, a little bit of the NCAA, but we have the F1. We're just going to preview it because we have the Qatar or Qatar, however you want to pronounce it. The F1 race is coming up.
It's a short soundbite. Let's hit it. Get us ready for it.
Don't holler at me, dude.
I do. I'm gonna holla. There it is.
Let me holla at you. Can I holla?
I can't wait, dude. I'm gonna stay up all night after
Holla,
the
holla.
UFC and watch this race. It's gonna be a night full of sports and racing.
Yeah, it's an early one, isn't it?
Yeah, 5 a.m. Qatar. We wanted to preview this one because it's pretty damn tight for the constructor standings. McLaren's just 8 points behind Red Bull. Can they finally overtake Red Bull, who's pretty much been leading in the constructor standings for 2.5 years straight?
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, if they do beat Verstappen again, which at this point now, McLaren is the top dog. Oscar Piastri or Lando Norris are both just finishing and living in the top 5. Those are things that are going to get you a bunch of points. Case in point, Chad just said, what are we, 8 points?
Yeah, 8 points.
8 points
Yep.
behind in the constructors.
And then in drivers,
They
he's about
are
60, I think.
62. I mean, Lando Norris could very well make a push. I'm trying to see what we have left here.
I think it's 6 races.
1, 2,
7?
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 races left, including this weekend's race. He could very well pass Max Verstappen. The only thing is, is where Verstappen's going to end up in terms of these finishes. But they've been struggling.
That's what I'm saying,
that's
dude.
The thing. He very well, not Verstappen. Verstappen could very well fall behind Norris, and McLaren could overtake them in both the constructors and the drivers.
I know. I am pretty tuned into this. It's going to be a very dramatic finish to the F1 season, and it leads off into the Qatar race. 5 a.m. Wake up early, guys. Sundays are overrated. Just get your day started.
Well, you know what's better than on a Sunday to wake up at 5 in the morning and watch a 2 hour and a half to 2 hour F1 race.
Dude, it's great, man. I wake up, I start making breakfast.
A 1 hour nap, maybe 2.
Yep.
Get up, cook breakfast like you just mentioned.
Get it?
And then just watch football all day long.
Dude, that's what's great about F1 coming back after a week off. F1, right into football. It's going to be a good time. We're ready. We only need one guy to kick us off to put a bow on this whole episode 100.
Yes, and
Zero.
that is the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. John Daly, is going to hit it hard, man.
I hit it hard, man. So far, man.
Far.
No laying up, no holding back. Ain't afraid of nothing.
It's a natural fact.
Long, till it's gone, man.
Gone.
Keep taking chances, living large.
I hit it hard. Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. It is the end of episode 100.
We have done 100 daily doses of excellence, too.
Yes,
We've done
started
very
from
consistent.
the beginning.
Yep.
We didn't stop. We're still waiting for Mr. John Daly to join us.
It's never
Hopefully,
too late.
after he sees his, grandiose interest on the episode 100, he will gladly join us. Or maybe John Daly 2.0, a.k.a. his son, will join us. Either way, we are at that point, the Daily Dose of Excellence, where we feature somebody or something that has gone above and beyond of what is considered the normal human, output, if you will.
Anybody being excellent and standing
Wake
out,
up, you piss
whether
excellence.
that be sports or just a good heartwarming story. And over 100 episodes, Chris and I each have stories that kind of resonate with each one of us, and I appreciate Chris for letting me
saying that now because we're on camera. But
no, I am. Cover this story here because it means a lot to me. It hits home for me as well because, like I said earlier, my favorite band is STS9, Sound Tribe Sector 9, and it is a story, and we're going to hand out the Daily Dose of Excellence to the STS9 community. All right, if you remember me mentioned back in July when we tried to go to the STS9 show, crazy monsoon rained out the show. We had to leave. through the SDS9 Lounge Facebook group, people learned about a man. He's a freshman now named Gabe. He is man, I always fuck this up. Sorry. An autistic.
We're getting rid of you.
Student. And he is a nonverbal autistic kid who his favorite band is SDS9. And he, with his mom, drove all the way across the country to go see SDS9. And through Mother Nature, just flipping people off and saying, nope, change of plans. They unfortunately got rained out, and this child was not able to see his favorite band, but because of the grace of hearts through the whole community, learned about this situation, and when they heard about SDS9 rescheduling the show for September 29th here in a couple weeks, they wanted to make sure Gabe could go see his favorite band again.
Hell yeah.
And they did a GoFundMe. I donated to it. I know my buddy Corey, who also gave me this amazing jacket,
rad-ass jacket,
donated to it.
Reebok. Look at this thing, dude. This is from the 90s.
1990 is when this was made. Awesome.
Just legit.
Corey's an awesome dude.
Terrible colors, terrible team name, other than that, great jacket.
Still awesome. But Gabe, this big SDS9 fan, they raised enough money, and he has been practicing going to the airport. His mom's been getting him ready. They're going to fly him back out here for the SDS9 show on September 29th. It's a Sunday show, and, you know, it just says a lot where an autistic child and person that is nonverbal can't really, you know, has a hard time communicating with people, obviously.
Yeah. Just existing in the world, really.
I think it's awesome when it doesn't matter if it's trains, if it's racing, football, whatever it might be, whatever they find that brings this happiness, hats off to them. And I just give them all the credit in the world for just enjoying that. And then everybody else, making sure they can enjoy that too. So he will be flying back for the SDS9 show. I hope I get to give him a high five, and SDS9 show is going to give him an amazing time.
Yeah,
so that's awesome.
I'm excited. I hope Gabe has an awesome time, and hopefully it's all worthwhile, and this SDS9 show goes off without a hitch.
Yeah, I think they raised around like $3,500 to get him the plane tickets and
Nice.
everything they need to go and come back. Because I think they live in like Massachusetts, I think.
Yeah.
So,
okay. So they're a little bit out there. Hopefully SDS9 gets word of this, and they make it extra special for him.
yeah, that would be pretty cool. Yep.
That would be very cool.
Yeah.
Well, that's gonna about wrap it up. We
did
gonna
it, Chris.
cover a few more things, but unfortunately, it's just so much time.
I know. And we had a couple awesome interviews from Farzin Vousoughian. Thank you so much for coming on, Farzin. Thank you so much for DMac.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you so much for our supporters. Thank you to SDR Collectibles for being our first sponsor.
Yep.
Yeah.
And just again, like Chad said, thank you all for, even if you listen to us for 15 minutes, man. I don't care. 1 minute, 5 minutes. If you took any time to listen to us, thank you so much. This is a passion project for us. I mean, we do this after work.
Yeah, full-time jobs.
We love sports. Sports are those stories that, you know, make life a little bit more palatable, so to speak, when everything kind of sucks. You know, there's always sports to go back to. I know it's kind of a trivial thing, but nonetheless, anybody who finds solace in listening to us or just finding out about sports or whatever, we appreciate you tuning in, and I hope you guys will tune in more and tell your friends about it, because that's what matters. We want to create a community here. It's a fringe fanatics community for all those that don't feel like they necessarily like fit into the norm or the cookie cutter mold of what a sports fan is. This is what we're here for.
Yeah.
I
Well said, man.
I don't look like your normal sports fan. This guy didn't until he cut his dreads off. Now he kind of fits that mold a little bit. But not as
still
much.
pretty weird.
It's
still pretty weird.
When you talk to him, he's fucking weird. But nonetheless, man, we appreciate you guys just coming along with us on this journey. It's far from over.
Yeah.
And we are looking forward to many more episodes of this, and hopefully many more of you joining us and coming along on this journey with us, because it makes it all worthwhile.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I hope you guys get 100 more episodes and 100 more after that.
We're gonna
keep
unless you
chipping
stop
away.
us, you know,
that's just it, man. We're gonna keep chipping away.
Yeah.
You know, we love talking about sports. We love hanging out. You
Yeah.
know, and we're going to keep getting on great guests for you guys. I know we have fans that are from different Ravens fans, Packers fans. We're going to try to get insiders on from all different worlds of sports and teams so that everybody can get accommodated, because it doesn't have to be Chiefs and Broncos.
No.
We're objective about it. We have our favorites, but we just want to learn about everybody's fandom, because we are on the fringe, and we know you guys are too.
Yeah, and being on the fringe is what brings us together. So, on that note, Chad,
cheers
I love
to you,
buddy.
Love you, buddy.
We love each and every one of you.
We love you.
Thank you guys for joining us. Cheers to each and every one of you.
Come back next week for the Grave Digger. Justin Graver's coming on.
Grave Digger. Yes, so Justin will be joining us talking about all things Titans.
Yep.
But until then, we love you guys.
Farewell.
Fare thee well. Episode 100 in the books.
We did it, man.
New journey.
Yep.
Here we go. Toodles.
Next chapter.
Chad, go. I like it. All right, here we go. What are we?
Dude, these are fucking... I can't wait to wear this to Don's, dude. People are gonna fucking be so jealous.
No, they're sweet.
They're fucking
He's like,
rad,
dude,
man.
thank you so much for fucking... He was just gonna give them to us.
What?
And I was like, nah, dude, let me pay you for
How'd you
them.
find this guy?
On fucking Facebook Marketplace.
Oh, shit.
And, I was like, let me fucking pay you. I was like, I don't want to fucking... Because I just hit him up. He's like, I'll just give them to you for free. And I was like, nah, man, like, you fucking make this shit. Like, I don't want to fucking just take it.
Yeah.
So he's like, all right, well, just pay me for one. And because they're like $45. So we got basically 2 for 1. But either way, still
That's
cool.
fucking awesome, man.
Fun shit.
Dude, that was a damn good episode, man.
No, it was. I'm just glad that we didn't have fucking issues. Remember I said in the beginning,